I hate this group, but I also love this group. Hey, welcome to some more Red Wagon Inn. Jakey's looking mighty fine tonight. Don't know why we never have technical issues here on the Red Wagon Inn, but I guess we had some tonight. Not a big deal. It's not Red Wagon Inn if we don't start with that, right? So welcome to episode 32 of the Red Wagon Inn. You might also notice another familiar face yet again. We got Will from the Two Dumb Brothers back with us one more time tonight for some more Dungeons and Dragons-y goodness. Thanks for coming back, Will.
We tried to get him to go away, but he just kept coming back.
True. I tried to start up the stream. Right. I was already on the 4-player thing. He was here. We just figured, we'll just go with it.
I never left the call.
Never left the call. He's been waiting for a week, just bated breath. Oh. Awesome. So glad to have everybody on here. We've got a couple cool things to do tonight. We have 2 giveaways, which I'll get to in a moment. Does anybody have anything they need to shill before we get started? Beautiful. Well, one of the things I want to shill is that Ribo Dad is currently in the hospital after just having heart surgery, and I can't be there because they can only let 1 people in right now because of COVID. So if I have to go for just a minute, that's because there's a call, but it's all for a good thing. So everybody, please, some hearts in the chat for the Ribo fam, because Ribo Mom and Ribo Dad are totes at the hospital right now. And I think they're even watching just to pass the time because they're far too supportive, and we need to support them. So huge hearts for the Ribo Dad.
I'm sorry, I'm not laughing at your parents. I'm laughing at the fact that Jakey's Discord crashed and he's just got the saddest face.
Oh no. I thought he was just super sad for Ribo Dad with a lot of love. Oh, here we go. All right. I'm up in the corner now with my thermostat.
Ribo Dad in the house.
Ribo Dad in the house. Love Ribo Dad, absolutely. And Ribo Mom. We did the same thing for when Ribo Mom was in the hospital. So glad to support the Ribo fam. And y'all are all awesome. Every time I see hearts in the chat like that, it makes me super, super happy. So hi, Ribo Dad. Hi, Ribo Mom. Right. We have a cool few things, but first I want to show some art. I didn't get to share it much because technical issues, but Words Mythologic made another new song, this time about Asterion as a whole. And so as a DM, I'm very excited about that. Let me talk up here for a little bit. Let me lean over so that I'm in frame until Jakey gets back.
It's such a beautiful noggin.
It is.
I love it.
Shiny as possible. So I'll play that one again during the break. One thing we had, Rain's daughter, who's 11 years old, made a gif of Penguin McCool getting taken by aliens and then being sent back for being too squishy. So if you haven't seen that gif, I absolutely love it.
So cute.
Will, if you lean this way, yeah, there we go. We're in the same frame now.
Never left.
You're both Drew. You are both Drew. And Jackie, you've got a nice denim shoulder there up in your screen. This time it wasn't just me with technical issues. Haha. Right. We also have a giveaway from Level Up Dice, which will be on the second half of tonight, which is going to be these awesome Tiger's Eye dice. And you can win those for free.
For free?
For free, you can win these Tiger's Eye dice. Making sure that you enter that giveaway whenever it goes live. And then we have another giveaway, which is a bit of a secret, but I won't reveal that until Jakey's back because he needs to definitely be here for it, which is a giveaway that I'm doing. So until then, since Jakey isn't here to shill it, I'll shill it for him. If you haven't also entered the Red Wagon Inn fan art contest to win one of the How hoodies with all of the words going down the side and How's art down in the chest that Jakey designed, make sure you do something on Twitter, Instagram, something, and you do hashtag Red Wagon Inn or Red Wagon Inn fan art, something along those lines, and that's what Jakey's going to be checking to decide who the winner is, and the one that he likes the most, boom, is going to get one of those How hoodies, and they look awesome, so I may even enter on that one, or just pay him directly, I guess. But yeah, I definitely want one. Right. Does anybody have anything else? I will reveal the other giveaway as soon as Jakey Boy gets back. Does anybody have anything else they need to talk about?
Nope.
Good.
Hey.
Oh, hey, there he is. He's DM now. Right, so... So I'm Bun Boy. I'm known for my bun that goes in the back. It me. Jakey, you're back in yellow.
Yeah, wow. Discord just everyone froze and just decided to completely crash for me and me alone. And then it wasn't working on my phone either, so I couldn't let you guys know. So love that for me. Love
It's
that.
okay. You paused on looking real sad. Just real sad. You were a sad boy.
That was just my face.
Welcome back, Jakey.
My
Also,
resting sad face.
we got Hayden Davio watching right now, voice actress extraordinaire.
Hayden.
Sorry for what I've done to your character. Hope you like it. But Jakey, we shilled.
Celine hates me now.
True. Jakey, we shilled out the giveaway for the hoodie, so we got you covered there. Make sure people tweet about that. But I haven't revealed the giveaway that is for the first half of tonight yet, because I wanted you to be back. So my giveaway for tonight, and it's very similar to an idea that already exists, is whoever wins the first giveaway will get one token that they can use and redeem at any time of their choosing, and I'll even let players enter this one if they'd like to. Anytime of their choosing, and when they redeem it, they can kill any NPC except for a god, no questions asked. If the party is going up and there's somebody with an eternal gaze that they just simply cannot find a way to sneak past, boom, you can say he's dead. Or if you want to be a remembered use of your token, maybe you don't like Robert, he's gone. Whatever you want to do with that token, no questions asked, I will make up a way for that character to die. I heard all of your comments.
The first one in. I just kept spamming it and then suddenly it worked, so I'm the first one in.
Jakey, call it now and you'll win it.
I'm gonna win it again like I did for these beautiful dice. Stay mad.
Done. Nobody else
Stay mad,
should be
chat.
winner. But yeah, so y'all asked for more audience participation. I think this is about as participatory as you can get. So as long as it's not a god, you choose when. You just say, hey, I'm redeeming my token right now. They're dead. Boom. You're good.
Let's get rid of it.
One person in chat is going to win, and they're going to look at everyone in chat and say, I pick Robert, and everyone is going to scream. I'm calling it now. It's not going to be me who wins. It's going to be someone who's going to kill Robert.
And it has to be an
just
NPC.
An easy way for a permaban.
It has to be an NPC. You can't just be like, you know what? I don't really like Ren. Get him out of here. That can't work. It's got to be an NPC.
Why'd you have to single me out first?
You can take it.
Flint.
You have the biggest heart.
Drew, it's because if any of the other players win, they would kill themselves before Ren, because Ren's lovely.
Aww.
That was going in a different direction you thought, but it didn't.
Right. So yeah, as far as people that they have met thus far, the Fey King and Creepergon are the only ones that are excluded, I think, unless I'm completely forgetting a god, which is totally possible. But those are the only ones excluded thus far. But right, it's time. Let's do the roll for recap, everybody. And Will, you were here last time, so you're in on this now. 17.
Drew, do you want to let them know what your blood dice are made of?
Oh yeah.
Blood. Actual blood. Like, this is my blood inside of a dice.
Blood?
Yours looks way cooler with the core of blood than mine old ones where it was like mixed in. The core is a way better idea.
Yeah.
I do have a medical.
I don't know. I never got to see it.
I have.
It's on my barbarian.
Remembering things on Tuesdays.
Ooh.
Oh.
So,
It's a very unknown disease.
I rolled a 3.
Didn't you roll a 3 last time?
No, he rolled a 1 last time.
Oh, okay.
He's doing better. He's moving on up.
3
The
from Will.
It's called Tuesday Forgets Me Whoopsie Woosies. So.
The doctor who named it was a bit of a jokester. 3 from Will, 19 from Zania, 17 from me. Drew, how?
I said 13. 13.
Oh, sorry, I thought you said 19. My bad. 13.
No, 13.
Not 3, so get bent.
Will,
I got 6.
it's your go. I'll give you a point of inspiration if you make it, and I'll give you an extra point of inspiration if you can do it as Castigon.
Well, that's not happening. So
Okay. I'm going to throw out those as offers every time now.
All right. So the party had been traveling the road. They saw a beautiful apple orchard. How was like, I'm gonna get those apples. So we got those apples. And then they heard some like really loud, annoying, awful music coming from a tent. They approached the tent and hey, it was this cool dude named Flint Flunkerstein Flanagan. And Ren happened to know him. They've been best buds for a while.
Bang, but
And yeah, they let their hair down. They went wild. They were rocking out. And they all decided, hey, let's go to Kern together. So they walked to Kern. And as they approached the gates of Kern, a drawbridge, the party was like, we need to figure something out. We've got Spade coming after us. Spade's going to club us. And so they decided to come up with an idea where Ren took on the disguise of Zania behind some outhouses. And they decided to dash off towards where they believed Marcus was residing. And so they trotted their way through the city, and Robert, Celine, and Flint were all like, "Whoa, what's going on? What's should we sprint after them?" And so we're like, "Hey, we're doing something very cheeky breeky." And so we went into the city, and Flint was like, "Hey, we should go to the Red Wagon Inn while we wait for them. It'll be safe. I know the way." Little did Flint know that it was going to take a day's journey to even get to the center of the town due to Kern's vast, huge populace that is frequenting the streets. So as they are moving towards the Red Wagon Inn, Hao and Zania are on Hao's phantom steed, flying through, dodging, going up and down rafters, going through the city, avoiding traps, until we were followed by Spade. So Spade ended up finding us, and we decided, let's go check out this fruit stand, and approached. And Spade went up to Zania, a.k.a. Ren, and took him captive, headed towards this teleportation. Some stinky people stole Rocky, my beloved companion. Flint went sprinting one direction. Robert was in awe, didn't know what to do. Poor Robert. Ren almost died. Went through a portal.
I mean, that's every episode.
Ren's continuous no good, very bad life.
Yes. They're shooting messages. Ren and Hao are shooting telepathic messages together, trying to keep each other up to date of what's going on. Ren escapes. He transforms into a dwarf who we do not know. Flint recovered Rocky, God bless, and sprinted back towards the location with Robert and Celine. And during this, Zania and Hao met a lovely dwarf woman named Scrumpy.
Nope.
It was... Oh my goodness. It was a GFI worthy. Davida Loca. And so... Thank you. So they said, oh, there's a crazy gang called the TD, named after Thaddeus Dingleberry. And it's a front for the Thieves Den.
Yep.
And so they're hiding out.
Yes.
Ren's cooking some food in the kitchen. And Flint, unfortunately, the ones that stole Rocky were members of the Thieves Den that he obliterated. And yeah, so it's bad news bears. So the party is split, Scooby-Doo style.
The party is
that's all.
Indeed very split. And that was very good. If you don't have a point of inspiration, totally get one. I liked it. Well done. Where's your audio? Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Dude, Thaddeus Dingleberry. Holy. Dude, I coughed real hard right there. Also, hi, Sam.
Hi, Sam, from me too.
Hi, Sam.
I recognize Sam. Right. That was very good. If you didn't have a point, have it. As far as GFYs stand, Flint, you're at 3 in one episode. Well done. How, you're at 2. Ren, you're at 4. Zania, you're at 4. I am at 7. So Chad is almost getting to do the token thing twice with no limits on the one that gets me at 10 GFYs. But I promise you that you're going to want to use them in Kern. But if that's it, let's go ahead and get started. Any other things that we need to bring up?
Chat, let's get Thaddeus Dingleberry out of there. Let's get him on out.
Dingleberg.
Right, it's time. Everybody grab a drink, pull up a chair, come hang out with us at the Red Wagon Inn as we continue where we left off in the middle of the night, sometime around 2 in the morning. As you have just recently blown an entire side out of a wall, hidden a body down into the waters below the great city of Kern, left 2 other bodies out there, Flynn. You are currently running with Robert and Celine, where as you're running, you suddenly hear the crowd, what's going on? As they're reacting to some sort of event happening a little bit to the east of where you're at. As you've come in from the west side of the city, it's further into the city. So we're going to go ahead and start with Flynn and crew, and then we'll go to Zania, Hao, Ren, etc. But we're going to start with you, Flynn. As Robert and Celine, you will hear some loud gasping coming from the eastern area from where you're at, maybe about 100 feet off from where you are. It may be of note to you, it may be of no note at all, being that you are currently attempting to get away from your murder, self-defense killings, however you'd like to call them. Should we check that out? Or do we keep running? Where are we headed? We're kind of following you here, Flynn.
Might be the distraction we need, man. Let's go through. Let's see if we can hide in the crowd. It's like being in the pit at the fish concert. The local fishermen, musicians, they play around. But yeah.
Wow, that was the quickest GFY we've had on stream. Isn't that neat? Ain't that neat? You can wear that badge with honor.
Fastest GFY in the West.
That's Flint for you, baby.
Celine says, you mean to head to the distraction? Or away from it?
Let's head towards the crowd, see what's going on.
Okay.
Check it out.
She kind of throws her hands up as if, like, I don't know if this is the best idea, but Robert seems to follow inspiring leadership. And so with your confidence, he is very much okay with this. As Ren, you are currently trying to distract people away from this small crowd. You have cloaked yourself up and now look like a dwarf, if I recall. Mm-hmm. You cloaked yourself over and lied your way out of saying that that was just magic, even that I didn't look like a dwarf before. That was part of the trick. As your
illusion magic, try it, baby.
Yeah, that's right. As you were kind of finger gunning and lying your way through this small pocket of the crowd, you do recognize the tall spear and the black horns of a friend kind of standing amongst the tall people within the crowd. As both Robert, Celine, and Flynn all kind of look through to see what the distraction is and see if they can use this as a vantage point to get out. You can tell by their eyes they're not expecting you to see there. However, Flynn, as you come into this circle, there's a dwarf here causing all sorts of chaos and finger gunning at people, saying, "Yeah, don't even worry about it." As Robert says, "Maybe this is a good distraction. We should just go right around."
This guy, he's got some pizzazz. He seems kind of.
That matters. Does that matter right now? We're trying to get away from what. He kind of whispers to what you've done.
It was self-defense for Rocky. Kidnapping. Think about it this way. They stole Rocky, man.
I agree entirely, but they seem dastardly. It's not the authorities that I would run from.
Well, maybe we can use this guy as our distraction.
I thought that was the point. Shouldn't we be going around at this point now to leave?
But I can't. I love a good show. I mean, it's music, finger guns, charisma. We gotta. Let's see.
Ren, you see them arguing there at the edge of the circle.
No, it's at this point. Ren's gonna start pushing people. Oh, piss off! Move! Get out my way! Move!
Several people are like, "But I thought there was going to be a show. Why would you make such a grand entrance that way without allowing us to have a show?" Before you
fuck it off. And Ren's gonna keep pushing through.
Okay, as you push on through, where are you headed? towards your friends.
To my tall dragonborn friend.
As Celine is kind of discussing with you, Flynn, like, I don't think that's the. Oh, here he comes.
Hey, buddy. What you doing there?
Oh, shut the hell up. Just come here. We gotta be quiet. We gotta be quick now. Let's get the fuck out of here.
I'm not going anywhere with someone who
Robert,
greets
we gotta
us
get
like,
the fuck out of here.
You know my name, dwarf.
Yes, I do. Now let's go. And Ren's gonna start pushing people out of the way again.
As he's like pulling
moving,
Flynn, Robert leans to Celine and is like, I must know how this man knows my name. And he must be a follower of the Whispers. He was told on the winds, as like he and Celine are kind of rushing through this crowd now to keep up. Even though it is this really dark nighttime, this main road that you're in here is still just completely packed. But if you're trying to get to a small alleyway, you definitely can.
Yeah.
Which side of the road are you going on, north or south?
I want to say north.
Sounds great.
Because north would lead towards. What way did Spade take me?
Spade took you to a building that was off of the main road. Technically, it would have been on the south side of the road.
Yeah, I'm going north.
Okay. So instead, you, just to get as far away as possible, not only did you teleport 500 feet away, that's definitely not good enough for your liking. You grab Flynn and pull him into a northern alleyway. Robert and Celine arguing and talking as they follow you inwards. As you go between this small little alleyway, you have to cross the streets where, because this is American, sorry, I guess Alex and Brie aren't here to disagree. They drive on the right side here. Everybody walks on the right side, and then everybody else walks on the right side back. So you have to cross over people heading the opposite way from you now and head to the north side. When you do so, there's a small little bunch of crates here once you reach this alleyway. You could definitely climb over them, but it looks like it's intended to both block the alleyway and be kind of goods for the stalls that are here next to this very, very large road. So if you do so and just hop them, you may garner some attention. Otherwise, you can just do it if that's not a bother for you.
I want to keep a semblance of like stealthiness with this.
Look at Jason.
And also to thank Jason for all the gift subs.
I would do that as in character.
Thank you. I got one.
Yeah.
Hey,
I got one.
you.
Yeah. Jakey got one. Look at us.
Thanks. Way to go.
So you said you're trying to keep some semblance of stealthiness. So are you going to try and stealth your way over these, or try and go to a different alley entirely?
Probably keep moving north until we find a better alleyway.
Okay.
Just
so
trying to make as much distance.
Road totally travels east to west here. So you're going to have to go either back the way you came or further towards the center of town and find another alleyway.
East was towards Marcus, right?
Correct.
Yeah, then I want to go east.
Okay. You go back around and you're still kind of pulling Flynn through these things. And now going back the opposite way into the crowd, Robert says, "You must have heard something else on the Whispers. You must have been a bad alleyway." As he's running with Celine down here, as you kind of approach these, and you're like, nah, we're going around here. You go up to the one nearby. You see one where it wouldn't cause you any trouble to, you wouldn't stand out. The stall owners may ask you like, "Hey, where are you going behind, or what would be behind me?" That's not cool. But if you just push on through and don't even stop, they might not even have the opportunity to say that.
Yeah, we'll go there.
So you just head on up through this alleyway. Flynn, you still following in tow?
That's right.
Okay, you keep walking with Ren, that, as far as you know, going up this alleyway heading to the north. Robert and Celine following behind. Celine stops where this crowd is rushing through, looking at the alleyway. She stops as Robert. You can't hear what they're saying, but you hear Robert kind of, or you see Robert kind of wave his hand on. But
can I
she
see
walks
her?
on too.
Because if so, I'm going to point my thumb backwards and use message and say, "It's me. Follow me into this alley. We are going to die."
Oh, Robert's like, come on. She begins walking, and she goes. You can slowly hear their conversation start to pick up in volume from where you couldn't hear from the crowd, but it starts. That's Ren, Robert. You can actually see. Of course, it's Ren. They change all the time. Robert's like, right. As he comes walking, Ren, I thought you were another whisper.
The name's Holgrim Strongbelly. Get it right. And then message to Robert. Yes, it's Ren. Please don't say my name ever right now.
Holbert. I'm sorry. I thought you were
Holgrim. Yes,
Holgrim. I thought you were. Yeah. Sorry, I thought you were a follower. I was a bit excited, but either way, this is good news. You're okay then? How did you?
Well, you see, he might think that Zania went to Redcliffe through a teleportation.
Oh, okay. This is good. No, this is good. Fantastic. Nothing to worry about. On our way, right?
And then Ron's voice comes out, and it's just like, I don't know if he actually trusted it, but like, I don't know. But we need to find the other two before he does.
That sounds good. We were trying to get out of here anyway, Flynn. Oh, you explain it, Flynn.
Well, they took Rocky, and you look so different. Holgrim, Rocky was taken, and I'm sorry to leave you hanging like that, man. But Rocky's my boy, and I had to go take care of him. I kind of took care of the people that took him. If you catch my drift.
Yeah, that's great. That's fantastic. It's fine that you left, because with that being said, this was a single person mission, because had I have disappeared from, Spade and there have been one of you, probably would have taken one of you hostage. So best that it was just me. Sometimes I might have good plans. Not always, but sometimes they work. This time I don't think it worked. Like most of my plans don't work. So we got to find the other two.
Right.
Flint's gonna look up and nod his head, and he's gonna go, well, glad you're here, man. Can't have a party without you.
Yeah. It'd be really nice if Hal could message one of us anytime soon.
Would be, wouldn't it?
But I don't know if that's gonna happen, so we need to make sure we can find them.
We did establish that I was doing to every 10-minute check-ins, but I also didn't want to interrupt this good role
For sure.
play.
We're about to get to that
making
point.
me wheeze.
About to get to that point. As this has been a rapid series of events of running out of there, running from Spade, right after you told him, like, hey, Spade's here. So we'll be there shortly. But yeah, currently still trying to figure out how to get to them. So, okay, we're going to them. Do we meet them in the center, or what's the plan here?
Well, Hal has the memory of where Marcus is, so if Hal was smart, Hal would be going there. But this is Kern after all, so that may not be direct. That's where we should go. We should go to Marcus. If anyone can help us right now, it's Marcus, and hopefully they know to go there too.
Okay, to the center then. Can either of you lead?
Flint, if you mind, it's been about a year since I've been here. Things are a little bit different.
You got it. And then Flint is going to cast Disguise Self. And his disguise is actually going to be his mohawk parted in the middle.
It just folds down.
Folds down. And then his shades turn clear into glasses. And then all of a sudden, he just has like a tie on. And he basically looks like he's going to his first like big boy like job interview, but no one told him how he should properly dress. And so he's gonna be like, we're gonna smooth right through this city. I got the perfect disguise. But really, it's not much of a magical spell other than the fact that a bag appears and he just pulls the items out and just does it himself. So he just kind of like shambly does it.
The only
know what
magic
the
part
fuck's
is the
that.
creation of the tie that you kind of pull up.
Because he doesn't know how to tie a tie. So
Exactly.
that's the
Yeah, it
magic.
just does it itself, Animate rope. So as suddenly Flint's hair falls, he begins to look a bit more professional. Ty pulls up, kind of pats any dirt he has off of him, and says, "Absolutely," and begins walking back into the crowd, heading off eastward. Being that you've been here before, you would be very familiar that there are two main roads that go through Kern, the east to west one and the north to south, and they intersect in the very center. So you just know, time to keep heading east.
Right on.
With that, let's go on back to Zinnia and Hal for a minute as Flint, Ren, Celine, and Robert keep going to the east. Zinnia, Hal, you've currently met a dwarvish woman inside our house with has very what would be traditional, almost like Japanese architecture of the kind of bamboo mats and whatnot, but it has Roman kind of displays and small little stone columns within there. She has two children, one that is currently in a small little bed, and another one that she's just reached out of that bed. What you thought would have just been one, but is actually another little dwarvish boy that she's picked up and holding as you two have come in, and she says, "You're obviously quite new around here, and being out at night is not ideal. Do you need a place to stay for the night? If, from what I saw, they saw the flares out. I don't know if that was you or somebody else, but I cannot recommend being out either on the gangplanks or on the floor in the city at night."
I mean, if we're welcome, I would appreciate it for one.
Okay. You're free to make a cut on the side. Just please respect that I'm going to keep an eye on you. I don't know you. You're foreigners. You come in here with weaponry. I mean, much trust and respect as I can, but I don't feel entirely comfortable. My partner will be here soon, and they are a bit more cautious than I. They wouldn't have even let you in, but I cannot see you just standing out there alone at night.
Hal's gonna take a moment to like kind of like this is we could stand upright in this place, right? It's not like super small.
Yeah,
in
no,
the
it's
sense
not
where
a
we're crouching, right?
dwarf home or like living in
Okay,
Bilbo's
cool.
house. No, it's a full. Each of these stories are about 10 feet tall, and they kind of are all that way.
Yeah. So Hal's gonna stand up and like just very visibly like hands to the side and slowly like take off, like because he has lots of daggers and things, and he's gonna show her like that he is armed, and as like a gesture of good faith, like right on the like on like a side table or something, he's gonna lay out his things. Because last session I did give her like a gold, but I feel like now is more fitting for a time to like Hal is gonna give her like the pouch of 10 gold for like letting us stay. And then I'm just gonna like leave my stuff there just so like she knows like what's on my person. I'm gonna flip my hands and stuff just like I totally understand the caution, but Hal's gonna do it entirely non-verbally. And then yeah, he's gonna start setting up a little cot
Zinnia?
after sending a
Zinnia.
message.
Oh, sorry.
No,
Zinnia
after you.
will follow, and then she will also just go like, "What were those? The flares?"
They're used by the city guard to identify where potential hazards are, but it's kind of a well-known secret that at night the Thieves' Den uses them to spot potential targets and lock them in sorts of pins down at the bottom that makes them hard to find their way out of. Getting caught in one of those is a bad deal.
Oh, so they're not fireworks. They're not good signs.
They used to be a time ago in the city when I lived here, but no, not now, not at all. Now they're just... They're symbols of trouble coming and brewing. If you see one, get inside somewhere as quick as you possibly can.
Thank you for your hospitality. I myself am from the Silver Plains. I recognize the decor.
Oh, you mean the Silver Lands? I understand the small slip of the
Silverland.
tongue like that. It happens every now and again.
Right. I've been gone for quite a while. But how could I forget my homeland?
How could you?
That is on me.
Hal looks at the fourth wall and just shakes his head.
Well, you're from there then. I'm sure you might be more comfortable in here. I don't need to show you around, and you might be able to find what you need. Thank you for both taking your weapons off. I'm at ease and glad that I don't have to feel quite so scared in my own home. That's very hospitable of you, and know that I appreciate it.
You let us in, and I, to be frank, I know you wouldn't have asked.
You're right.
It's the least we could do.
As you're talking, you begin to hear the door rattle, as if somebody's trying to open it. She says, "Hold on." She runs over and looks out the small little peephole. She undoes all the locks that were there from before, quickly opens the door. Another female dwarf runs in. She closes behind and begins locking up immediately. This one in heavy armor and chains across their armor. That's the best way to just across their person. Wearing chainmail and some pauldrons across their wares here, with a halberd kind of strapped to their back as if for long carry. Before she runs in and says, "I thought," kind of grasps the woman that you've been talking to, Davida, by the face and says, "Davida, I thought, I just didn't know if you were inside yet already." Davida says, "Liv, it's okay. I'm glad that you're safe. I saw the flares and I was looking out, but I happened to see these people. They're from out of town. They didn't know. I figured they needed to find a place. I'm sorry." Liv looks over and says, You didn't force your way in here, did you?" And she points her gloved and grieved hand over towards you. "You didn't force your way in here, did you?"
No, of course we didn't.
She says, "No, they don't know. They didn't." You continue.
We were invited in.
"I did. They look so lost. They're from out of town. They didn't even know to not be out at night in the streets like that." Liv looks over a little bit more stern and tough, says, "I didn't like it, but I understand. Keep an eye on you." As Davida looks over and says, "Their weapons are on the table. They mean no harm." Liv says, "All right." She begins starting to take her pauldrons off and goes over and picks up the other small dwarvish boy. Says, "How are the kids?" Davida looks over and says, "They're fine. A bit shook up by the flares." Says, "Oh, poor Ricky." Begins kind of pinching the cheek. Says, "Martin," God, I can't even get through it with a straight face. Damn it, I tried so hard.
GFY! God,
I didn't pick the
damn
names.
it.
Chat picked the names, not taking it.
You said
No.
Liv, and I'm sitting there, I'm having this just like, oh, this is so nice, family. Then you say Liv, and I'm like, oh, that's nice, Liv and oh my. He actually did it. Ricky and Martin, the children, that's their names. Why don't you just get it out there?
Chat picked it, so I'm not taking the GFY. I mad
Fair.
respect to chat. But yes, with a very serious face. Martin was crying for a bit, but now he's fine.
Sorry.
Continue, yeah.
At this point, Hal's just gonna sit down, quickly cross-legged. His eyes are gonna flare up that little like magenta light while he's casting a message. And I'm gonna send a message to Ren, Celine, and Rarbert just so they all get the info. I'm basically, however many messages it takes, I'm gonna iterate. We're gonna sleep here for the night. We can't go back on the streets. We almost got caught in traps. They should find somewhere to rest ASAP. Indoors, because the streets are much less safe than I think Ren anticipated.
Ren, you, Robert, and Celine get this message.
That's totally fair. Yeah, I mean, it used to be bad on the streets here, but it wasn't ever this bad. I message back to Hal saying we're gonna try and crash at the Red Wagon Inn, I guess.
Sounds good. We'll try and meet you in the morning. We almost got caught, but someone was kind enough to take us in. So,
Can I reply to this?
Yeah,
second-
sending
yeah,
always
second
has
response.
a response.
It's global sending because I have you in my book, so I can cast sending unlimited amount as long as your name's in my book.
I tell how under no possible situation, scenario, whatever, is Zinnia to be seen in Kern now. She needs to disguise herself. Spade thinks
That can be done.
she's gone.
I've got some ideas. Thanks for letting me know. Have a good night and stay safe. I'm going to keep
You
doing
too.
check-ins till I know everyone's going to bed.
Okay.
Okay. Hal and Zinnia, you're here with these two dwarvish women and two dwarvish children, babies in size, as they're seeming to kind of talk about each other's day in kind of a hush manner, not trying to purposefully alienate you, but just in the we know each other, so we're kind of talking and just talking directly to each other, so you can kind of make out a few things. Both of you roll me a perception check.
Ooh.
Natural 20.
Howie?
Here,
Oh,
I thought my 18 I rolled was impressive. 21.
21.
so 26 total.
Okay, so both of you here, bits of information. It seems to be that Liv belongs to the city guard, and so had finished her day shift and come back. It always takes her a bit of time to get back, which is why she returns at night, even though Davida is so against doing anything at night and is kind of scared about it. Jackie, come on. This is a serious conversation about two very serious dwarves, and I will
Right.
have none of it.
Seriously listening? Sorry.
Yeah, how dare you? But Jackie, with your natural 20, you also hear some complaints from Liv specifically, saying, "Look, if they do anything that we don't like, I'll kick them out of here. I'll do it faster than you can imagine. I'll get them out if I don't feel comfortable with the two of them at all. They're strangers." And just kind of goes on about that with their general distrust of the two of you on a surface level being inside their home.
Honestly, fair.
I inform how.
Well, I mean, the best we can do is be respectful house guests. Nothing to be really helped.
Right. I think I'm just gonna, and I pick like a little empty corner of the room somewhere. I think I'm just gonna stay in my little corner, respectfully, not really move unless I need to, I guess.
Okay.
Respectfully watching.
Are you planning
we-
to? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I'm gonna go sit with by Zinnia.
Before we rest for the night, there's something that's been on my mind that I've wanted to talk to you about, but I wasn't really sure how to bridge the conversation.
Okay.
I know Celine is teaching you magic and stuff, and I know I'm not the kind of person you'd ask for that sort of assistance. But there is something that I think we're at a point now that I want to start teaching you.
Oh. Okay. Can you teach me?
Not easily, so it's gonna take some patience, but there is some things I think I can. I just need to make a deal with you about it, I guess.
A deal.
It's nothing
Oh,
blood pacty or scary. It's
okay.
just spells of this nature are frustrating, and they don't always turn out how you hope. So you can blame whatever you want. Cheap ingredients, poor teaching on my part. But you can't blame yourself if something goes wrong while I'm teaching you. Deal?
Sticks out her hand. Deal.
I shake her hand.
I promise to be as patient as I can. I'll give you the most patience.
I think you should give yourself more patience than you give me.
Hal's gonna sit down, and he's gonna take out a small tray. That's what's the word I'm looking for? It's like almost like those small little canoe things, but I can't remember the name of it. Those like incense burner things. And he places it. Yeah, it's a gravy boat. He
Baguette.
places.
Gravy
Yeah, he
boat.
takes the entire bread, starts sawing it. But he places that down. And takes an incense stick and puts it in. And then he takes some ash, and like crumples it and wreathes it across. And then he also takes like some incenses and mixes it in. Lots of like little floral things. And Hal goes to Zinnia's bag and like kind of looks at her.
May I?
Of course.
You get interrupted by Liv and says, "What are you doing?"
I'm reuniting my friend with someone. It's nothing harmful. You can hold your halberd to my head the whole time if you'd like. It
At
won't
least
hurt
keep
anyone.
it nearby. With dinner as to be some bowl food for you two as well. Set some down on the ground nearby, not to interrupt your work, but to there or rejoining the table up on the chair nearby, and the two chairs pushed up version of. But they watch kind of eagerly at you.
Hal, reaching into Zinnia's bag after getting permission, takes the small bone and the collar, and he lays them in the tray and places the bone. And Hal leans close towards the tray, and he says,
It's been a while.
and as he exhales, this smoke billows from his mouth that connects to these incense, and they spiral and around how these incenses and smells that start to envelop around his face. And as he does, from behind Hal's neck, a form shapes in the smoke, and a little canine-like head appears. 2 ears come from the smoke. The eyes form, and he begins to cast Find Familiar to create Otto for Zinnia to see.
How, before Zinnia reacts, as you begin casting the spell, based off of what that is saying, okay, the eyes and the ears not appear as described, but instead eye sockets, bony cartilage.
Oh,
Otto returns in their bony version.
cool. Yeah, Hal's gonna have them slowly crawl down his arm, and just sit in front of Zinnia.
Otto, is that you?
Otto looks up at you, kind of a this horrible demon-like cowl, because no one can understand Otto save him, except now. Otto can actually understand Otto, though he doesn't understand the words. He understands the thoughts that go behind the words coming from Otto, because he has this link to this familiar that he's found. So as Otto curls at you with this horrible demon-like undead howl, you hear, "Oh, Zinnia! Oh my God, it's you! Oh!" And before he like jumps up and kind of nuzzles at your face with his bony skull, says, "Oh my God, I missed you so much!" Before, "Oh, you're just, oh my gosh, it's been so long. I've been watching. Oh, I'm so glad you're okay." Continues to lick you. Liv does grab the halberd and stand up. "You said this would be nothing." Kind of holds the halberd a bit. "What the hell is that?"
Yeah,
It's a pet.
Otto really is you.
Yeah, basically.
Hal's using mess or sending to basically like translate to Zinnia everything that Otto's saying, just like kind of on autopilot so she can understand it all.
Autopilot.
GF1. GF1.
Go.
Attaboy.
Wait, is
GFY
I look at
words too.
I look at Hal. Wait, is this really him, or is this like an hour long? How much time do I have?
This is him. The thing is, though, is this is using the vessel of my familiar currently. So I'm going to, after you've had a time to visit, I'm going to return my familiar back, and I'm going to teach you how to bring Otto back so that Otto is yours. I want to teach you how to use Find Familiar.
How I don't know what to say. That's besides thank you. That would be amazing. I'm just letting like Anna like crawl all over me and like licking me. Oh well, no, licking, but you know,
with their scully-like figure, it's nuzzling against your face. But hearing what you're saying, how because telepathic link, Ada again kind of does the horrible evil undead sounds. But in your mind, you hear, "Oh my! I would get to spend some time with Xenia. This sounds amazing. Oh man! Oh, it's so boring in the afterlife. I would love to be able to spend some time back here and do things in the real world. That sounds just wonderful."
and just wait for the translation to come through. I would love that. I love that. I love to have you here. I just hug on it and I just start to tear up and I don't know what else to do or say. It just my feelings.
While Xenia's just like hugging. Oh, after you.
Yeah, as Xenia's great display of affection for this undead creature kind of lessens the worry of the dwarves nearby, seeing as how something could have that much affection towards something that truly is terrifying with its bony wings and shackle-like frame. Seeing that would frighten anyone, but Xenia does calm them down just by the allowing it to kind of look up. Just very happy with it. They sit back down, but Liv is still a little bit uneasy watching this unfold. Davida seems calm by the whole thing. Back to eating their children. But seems like you're.
I'm gonna...
Yeah. How? Oh, after you.
Oh, I'm just gonna look at Ada and I'm gonna. Ada, can I practice something? It might not be good, but can I practice?
Of course, I trust you.
Oh man.
I'll give you an inspo if you turn to undead.
If I turned undead?
Get on! Be gone! Get out of here!
Really committed.
This guy right here, the absolute chops on this lad. Can you believe this man?
Wouldn't even work. He's a fake. It's a celestial creature now that you've found familiared it.
Oh.
Celestial, Fae, or what's the other one?
I think fiendish if you're a warlock, actually.
No, that's only if I take the invocation pact of the chain. I think
fair
it would be a Fae. Fae Otta sounds fun to me. I think the little like Fae aspects on him are just like where there would be like rotten decay. There's little like mushrooms and things.
Totally Fae now. There's definitely vines and moss growing around Otta where there would have been decay. It looks like how dug Otta up out of a swamp and just was like, here you go.
Oh, interesting. Well, let me practice this Otta, and I don't know if I'm going to get this right at all, but Ada mushtaklak. Sorry, I'm not good.
No, continue.
Or Audli Ata. How'd I do?
Ada replies in perfect friend speech.
If you would like a translation,
I would. I know, but for the viewers.
Long story short, it is Arabic for "I miss you, Ada, return to me," and that is how Team used to summon Ada back.
Ada, oh, you have a very thick accent, but it's I can still understand. It just took me a minute before he comes up and, like a cat, jumps on your shoulders, but it's like a dog, so it's very like uncoordinated as it jumps up and scratches at you to get up on your shoulder and lays its little head on the top of yours.
Oh, I'm gonna cry in real life.
I already did. Don't feel bad if you do.
I missed you, Ada. I just missed you.
Xenia and Ada have a couple little moments together as Xenia had been around Ada for 3 years. Was essentially like being the roommate of this pet owner's pet, where you almost are also the pet owner at that point, and how leave her some time and do so, kind of slowly checking in with the other group. You said pretty continuously.
Yeah, checking in, but also like doing like nonverbal check-in with with Liv and them, just kind of like after I think like seeing Xenia like hugging Otto and stuff, I think there's a moment where I like kind of look to Liv and just like nod, like just kind of saying like thanks for not gutting me and letting me do this. But yeah, then just messages back and forth, and then once I get a basically like Ren tells me they're going to bed, that's when how I was gonna let him be.
Roll a persuasion on Liv.
Oh. Ooh. I'm good at those. Can I guidance myself so this gets ridiculously high?
Sure.
Because I have a +7?
Sure. I know I'm not Otto, but Words Mythologic said, Otto, if you can hear this, you're a good boy, but I'm a good boy.
Also, nobody better use that token on Otto. I swear.
That's fine. You can always bring Otto back. Otto can't actually die.
Before roll, I have a +11 because I got the 4 from guidance. And I got an 18.
Almost a 30 to be able to persuade them for anything.
Dang.
Almost.
Just barely.
She just hates you that much. No. So yeah, you kind of nod
fair.
And just give her the thanks for letting us stay here. But with a 29, actually, she kind of sits back and sighs. Where she stands up, leaving her halberd back at the table, showing a sign of trust as she walks over to you as you're kind of sitting on the floor near your kind of boat is still playing with Otto. She kind of squats down in front of you and says, right, obviously, no harm. I appreciate that. The way many know that you couldn't in the streets at night. Level with me here. Were the traps that were set there's that because of you?
Yeah. I lost count after about 50 were set. I was
And I'm gonna straight up open my spell book so she can see the illusionary steed.
I was riding on this with my friend, and we sped through, and we got way farther than I thought we would.
Can he read that? Since you mentioned you scrambled it all up.
Oh, I do code it, but I do have images and like things
Okay,
and like
gotcha,
glyphs,
gotcha.
so she would see like a drawing of it. Yeah,
Cool.
Hal's a very visual person, so like the components of the spell is completely coded, but there is like a drawing of the horse.
Jakey, you're playing a guy who can draw?
More, I guess.
I'm just messing.
Are they like panel drawings?
Yeah, he does it for exposure though.
As you kind of show her, she says, right? Well, you know, I'm a part of the city guard. Be careful out there. Do not trust any of the guards that you see. A lot of them are in the pocket. Be wary and watch your back. Everyone here in the city is as worthy as they seem.
Well, I'm glad that this is the house we got to rest at tonight. Then I wouldn't have known that otherwise. And the fact that you were so willing to hold us at an arm's length gives your words a lot more weight otherwise. So I appreciate it.
You owe that largely to my wife, less trusting than she is. Care? It's about you. Get rest. Still be up for a while. Watch on the door. You're safe here for the night.
I appreciate it.
Sits up and does like a pat on your shoulder, walking back over to the table and continue to help feed children the mushed up bean. Right. We're going to go to Ren and Flint as the two of you with Robert and Celine are making your way towards the center of town. As described before, it's going to take about a whole day to get there if that's the Red Wagon Inn you're trying to get to. It is just, it's 10 miles as well as a densely packed city road. 10 miles you could easily cover in a day, but it's the fact that everything's so crowded here all the time. So it's going to take some time. So if the plan is to meet them in the morning, I know that you all mentioned that. You also start to think about it and realize that that's going to be very hard to do unless Hao and Zanir are already there and you all really chug it along, like being very rude to people. Go. So, what's the plan?
Well, first things first. Can either of you two disguise yourself, looking to Robert and Celine?
I can do my best. Got this.
Okay. You?
She like puts her hair like up in a ponytail and pulls her hood over head and just kind of huddles inward. You wouldn't recognize her from behind, probably, but
Ren starts reaching into a bag and pulls out another cloak and just throws it on her. Like, we cannot let Spade see us.
Good. As Robert up and he pulls his pack up a little higher, and he's still got his big black dragonborn horns and the kind of large scales that are on the top of his head, and his spear sticks out. He pulls his pack up, and he just kind of, for the collar that's under his tunic underneath his armor, just pops it up. He's gonna try disguise self. It's not very good.
Okay. I'm gonna convert some sorcery points and look over to Robert and say, I can change you, but I need you to be willing for this to happen. Okay?
I trust you, of course.
Okay, and I on the face, and I'm gonna turn Robert also into a dwarf. Looking pretty similar to myself.
What spell are you casting?
Polymorph.
Oh, all right. Not the spell I thought. So he does actually shrink, and now suddenly looking eye to eye to you, looking up to Flint, who was very short to him, and up to Celine, who was pretty tall.
What? All you've done is make. Oh.
He looks at his.
Yes.
He begins like pushing on the skin that is not covered in scales for the first time.
Truly, is this how you all live? This is. No wonder you all need much more armor than.
I love you. We have to move. We have you.
Of course.
I can do this to you. I can do this to you later. Let's focus on getting out of here now.
As you continue to walk forward, you see Robert kind of subtly just like grabbing his dwarvish biceps, and it's like the four of you continue walking to the east. It's going to take some time to get there. Besides being disguised, Flint, you're currently disguised. Ren, you and Robert are completely different people. Celine is draped over best that she can. Is the plan to just walk there and get there in the time that you can?
Yeah, and I'll be a dick, and I will push people out of the way if I need to. Like, I am a little aggro dwarf of like, move, get out my way, move. Got places to be, move.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Flint's gonna go, oh, we're moshing our way through. And it's gonna just go in and just kind of like, doing like ska shows where they just kind of like kick outwards and da 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 da.
As Ren,
Get out me way.
Flint, you kind of do that. Yeah, man. Yeah, the like mosh pit smile and push as you're in the middle of there. It seems that a few people get mad. Go ahead and roll me a general d20 for luck, both of you. If you run into anybody who would be upset by your pushings.
How about a 19?
11.
Robert would actively not participate in the pushing unless you ask him to. Do you?
I'm keeping Celine and Robert behind me so that I'm literally making like a wake of people to like get out of my way.
Good, because Robert rolled a nat 1, and had you asked him to, he would have pushed somebody very, very angry. However, Ren, Flint, everybody seems to be like, this is part of some city life here. They're in a hurry and they push you out of the way. Some people get very mad about it and will be very confrontational. But seeing as how you're traveling on the right pathway and not trying to go like a fish upstream by going on the wrong side of the road, most people just kind of get pushed as you shove your way past. It's almost as equivalent of somebody just getting, oh, hey, got to move out of the way for a carriage. So this isn't terribly out of the ordinary. And you don't find anybody who fights back for all intents and purposes.
That's good, because I would give them a piece of my mind. Listen here. I'm sorry, I should do it as the voice, just in case. Listen here, you insignificant. Get out my way. And I would be doing intimidation into, like, the guy looks into, like.
Then
yeah,
one definitely did do that with your 19, but we'll say that is good enough that you absolutely scare down an elf who is standing his ground as you go to push him. He pushes right back and says, "One, watch where you're going." Before, yeah, you do exactly that. And like,
little one, I'll show you, little one.
See, whoa, God, this city is. He just walks off as he is thoroughly intimidated. But yeah, you all continue. During this time, Zinnia and Hao. The plan was to get some rest for the night, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
So, Ren and Flint travel and Robert for about a solid 8 hours. You've made yourself a couple miles into the city. At this kind of increased pace, willing to be rude to anybody that you need to be, I'd say you're about halfway there. So you'll probably arrive 8 hours ahead of schedule, which is a good thing. It is faster without being a full-on sprint or getting a ride. So ahead of schedule. How, Zinnia, after a solid 8 hours rest, there is no sun that can make its way through the tall city buildings that are above you. So there's no light that suddenly appears to wake you up. However, you can hear the chiming of a small gong from within this building here, as Davida has already up for the morning, where she kind of is on her knees, seeming to pray to this small little object here. That as the sound kind of hits and wakes you up, though how you are in a trance, it's not so much wakes you up as refocuses. Go ahead.
I was about to ask, because I get up super early. Couple things. Before we go to bed, How's gonna change Otto back, just like so that like Zinnia knows. But that's another thing if we can rewind. And I was also gonna say in the morning, How's gonna make he's gonna take his rations and stuff, and like using the kitchen and stuff, he's gonna make the folks here breakfast, and then use prestidigitation so it's like cleaner than he found it.
Okay, yeah.
Just so he's not taking anything from their stuff. Yeah. So before Zinnia and How go to bed, How's gonna go like to Otto, and Otto, he's gonna pull out that incense tray again, and this time Otto's gonna start to dispel into smoke, just kind of like looking towards Zinnia, and How's gonna look up and basically say like,
"This is gonna be your new task."
And from where Otto stands, there's the collar, but instead it's wrapped in like moss and things, and it has like almost like a tiny version of like Otto's skull and little charms and things dangling from it as a bracelet that Hal's gonna put on Zinnia's wrist as basically her first kind of token of like, this is how you're gonna bring Otto back. And then from the smoke, it's gonna pool up into How's hood. Behind him, he's going to wrap it over, and then two green eyes appear from behind it and look at Zinnia, and then they just close and disappear. But yeah, and then Hal's gonna like show Zinnia the book and start to like explain like over the night before they go to bed, like the first kind of step into Zinnia learning. Yeah,
Absolutely. So as that happens eventually, then Zinnia, was there anything you were planning to do before going to sleep?
No. Sorry, I wanted clarification. So it's How's Find Familiar and I'm sorry, I'm not too familiar with
So
Find Familiar.
what's happening here, which Jackie and I talked about before, is
And
Jackie
for
knows,
the viewers, not just for me.
yeah,
I
you
know.
know, for the viewers. I respect, I get it. As Jackie and I kind of talked beforehand. He knows Find Familiar. Jackie, you know, he knows Find Familiar. You do not know Find Familiar. He is going to try and teach that spell if you're willing to learn from him over a period of time, depending on how often and how active you are in trying to learn this spell. It's something that you can learn and go outside of your typical class boundaries.
Can I throw something in momentarily?
No.
Okay.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
I was gonna say originally when you had given magic items to the original players, team's magic item was Otto's collar, that was able to cast Find Familiar to get Otto. So just as a throwing it out there, that's also a possibility too, if you would like.
True. Honestly, completely forgot about that.
Now, now, to be fair, you still have to do the ceremony to bring Otto back, but the collar itself was its own magical item.
Since I completely forgot about that, and How would have no way of knowing that. The first time How attempts to teach Zinnia how to do it, it's gonna be like, you're natural at this. And Zinnia may even think the same thing, that she's just a natural at this spell.
Cool. Then if that's a thing, then I guess
totally
like
forgot about
that's what I sit with Zinnia and do. I'm gonna set up the incense and stuff with her.
Team would have told you that's literally what you read to Otto from the back of the pendant is how you summon Otto. Team would have told you that before.
Okay.
Cool.
Beautiful. I just totally forgot. Been 32
then I guess,
episodes.
Yeah.
Then for sake of like not retconning, then I guess like then after Hal makes them breakfast, puts on the table so the family when they come out, he's gonna make like kind of like almost like cold grab your own breakfast, except there's gonna be like warm eggs and stuff and meats, and then prestidigitation to clean everything, make it tasty. But then once Zinnia gets up, Hal's gonna set up the bowl for both of us and put the collar on her thing, and then I'm gonna sit with her, and instead of having Otto disapparate. From me, it's going to be a transforming of the smoke splitting into two parts where the soul of Otto merges with Zinnia, and Zinnia would see my familiar across which both smoke pools as one turns into the skeletal form of Otto binding to Zinnia. There is a black cat that appears with two bright green eyes. It has small rounded ears. And its
own Instagram page, actually. Go check it out.
And its own Instagram. And like immediately the second this cat apparates, though, its eyes go wide and it scurries up his arm, is up his hood, and the eyes blink closed, and it's like as soon as it's there, it's gone. And Hal kind of rolls his eyes, like, because now that he's been around Zinnia enough, I think Hal kind of like takes his mask off often so she can see he's audibly like, geez, and then he's just kind of scratching into the back of his neck. Something that Hal does very regularly, where it looks like it's a nervous tick of him scratching his neck, but he's constantly reaching back there.
Oh, that's so cute. And so, just so I understand, so now Otto is no longer.
Now Otto's yours. He's currently still out. Since I forgot that's how the item works. So now you've got the collar kind of as like a bracelet on you now. You're a little bit more jacked than Otto's neck was, and Ren's neck would have been with his bony self. So it really would kind of fit on your wrist there to be able to keep and control for Otto. That's kind of the souvenir version. Otto himself will wear the collar. How just kind of made one that exists. But Otto wears the magic one. So if Otto dies and the collar falls, you still need to go get that collar.
Yep. Okay. All right.
So
I don't know. I think I'm pretty good at this, Hal. It's happened pretty fast. I don't know.
You're very good, Zinnia. Well done.
Thank you.
So then, yes, all that does happen. You do have this kind of cold breakfast there. And so as you're kind of gathering all these things, we'll say then that you basically just didn't notice gotten up as the small gong goes off and reverberates within the room. Or sitting there praying before as that kind of awakens Zinnia in the morning, where now all that has happened that night before. Now you're awake over Zinnia up. You've got your two pets there with you. She clasps this and it stops taking its it's nearly noon day at this point. Up earlier, it's maybe used to the sun or guide, but the sun rarely shines this far. Going and
Oh wow! Thank you. I didn't even realize.
I think his
I
house
don't.
been cooking. After you.
I just don't know what to say except thank you. She'll look to Hal.
Yeah, I've been up for a bit cooking, but I figured you need the rest. You've had a time, and
How kind of points to like indicate like no, it's not a dream. Otto like resting beside Zania.
plus I think there was a good stress sleep. I made some food. Let's grab some stuff, and thank you again for housing us. I appreciate it.
Of course, and no, I was very worried last night because you didn't know what you were doing. But for all that is to say, that's bad. That economic opportunities here in the city, some of the things that you can do, it's just things that you can't do anywhere else. Kern is a magical place. Please don't let this taint your view on it. It is, in my opinion, the most wonderful city. So, all that was there to say, watch your back and watch yourself. But it is also a place of immense wonder, well-hearted folk.
I appreciate it greatly.
She kind of bows out before your Liv kind of cry out, Jakey threw up. Or she's, oh, sorry. Please, take whatever breakfast you want. Leave the door. Daytime. Problem. See yourself out. Rest you could stay in the city. And please, if you ever need me again, you're nice folk.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Of course, from the Loca family.
Hal's gonna leave another 5 gold. And just kind of like leave like the food and stuff he made there, like, and kind of make like a to-go bundle for Zinnia that he's gonna hand her, of just like assorted things that he's more so of just like a guess of like what he's seen Zinnia enjoy for breakfast over the past like time they've been traveling. And then Hal's gonna, as we're leaving, he's gonna make his magic hand or mage hand appear, which is that little translucent hand made of like this whisper magic, and it's just going to lock the things behind them, just because that's a simple task. You can leave it so that they don't have to worry about locking the door behind us.
Perfect. You all gather your things. You leave a few gold as she goes to tend to her child. You know that she doesn't see you do this, but she will find the gold at some point, so you're all right with that. As you both close the door behind you, and what you see is an entirely different city than what you saw the night before. As you step out to the door here, there are hundreds upon hundreds of people above and below you. You're about 30 stories up at this point. You can see tons of people, families with children walking carefree on the streets below. Some of them walking, kids playing, dangling like they would from a jungle gym across some of the little rope bridges that go from one place to another, seeming to dare each other to see who can climb out the furthest before having to come back. This is just the way of life in Kern, but there is a complete shift in tone. The people here are happy and carefree in this life. What you saw last night, a grim mirror of what is out today. Laughter comes from stories above and below you. You can see clotheslines going from house to house, covered in different brightly colored silk sheets, bedding, clothes that you have not seen anywhere else in your travels. Very unique attire, entire kite fields that seem to span across from one building to another. And as you look down the long corridors that lead down through the city, you can see for a couple of miles. This is what you see when you're on the corner of these blocks in the cities. You can see the joy of the people that are through here and why life is so attractive for some people here in Kern. Though they are in a poorer district right now, they're not in the absolute slums of the city, and if you can make it here, it is a good life. Where are the two of you headed?
How do you remember where Marcus is? I think you have the memory, right?
Yeah. I remember where Marcus is. I'm gonna quickly send a message to the others, and then if they're gonna stay at the Red Wagon Inn, we go there, or we'll meet them at Marcus's. I think that's a good plan.
While I send my message, I'm going to start tracing the glyphs and things for the phantom steed. This time, though, I'm tracing it in more of a subtle manner and stuff, so that the steed, when it appears, because I can choose, it's going to look like an actual horse instead of how it's usually smoking billow horse. It's gonna basically look like a nice travel horse with brown and white spots. But yeah, I'm gonna send a message to Ren that basically says like,
We're up. I don't know if you guys are good to go. Are we meeting at Marcus's, or we're coming to the Red Wagon Inn? Your call.
Ren?
Where are we, and what are we doing at this point in time? Because you said it's 8 hours later, right?
Yeah, you're about halfway to the center of the city. Based on the descriptors that we've said thus far, another important note to make, since you all have kind of quickly ran away from Spade, you don't have your horses. You tried to get away as best you can. You've been walking through the city here. That may not be of any consequence to you. You got to Kern. That was the main idea. But you don't currently have your horses. Hal and Zania are going to ride their horse, but you don't have one. So you are going to start getting tired, as you've been up for over 24 hours at this point. So by the time you make it to the center of the city, you may be a little bit exhausted.
All right. I know we are going to be super tired, but we need to just keep pushing through. We've got to get either to the even I'm tired, Red Wagon, or we need to get to Marcus's. Flint, Red Wagon's closer, right? Well, you don't even. Do you remember where Marcus is?
I don't know. The city's changed a bunch, but the Red Wagon Inn's always been in the same spot, man. I think he's gonna look at Celine and Robert and see if they're showing any signs of exhaustion yet.
They are, but they are also both hardened warriors, and they're not going to let that stop them. They will push through any exhaustion that runs their way. Robert is no longer a dwarf, and since he has just pulled a hood over, because polymorph only lasts for an hour, but it got you out of any immediate spotting by possibly Spade there. So you all have been going for a solid time. It is now noon, midday. By the time you make it to the center of town, it's going to be sunset nighttime again, which you'll actually be able to see in the center of town. So it will be about time to rest anyway.
I think we head to the Red Wagon Inn. I think we make our way to the center of town.
On that note, I'm going to relay back, because I'm assuming this is when the message from Hal is coming through saying, we're going to go to the Red Wagon, go to Marcus. It's going to be safer with Zania there instead of at the Red Wagon, because Spade can go to the Red Wagon.
Sounds
Be
good.
safe.
You as well. Find a spot to rest. This is a magical message, but you sound like crap.
Feel like it too. All right. And we're going to keep going.
Okay. So, how, Zania, your point is to also make it towards the center of town on the north side, correct?
yeah, I'm gonna iterate everything to Zania, just fill her in. How's gonna create that steed so it's just like a little riding horse. I'm gonna do it lower on the street so we're actually like on the street area instead of trying to ride these scaffolding things.
It's probably a good call.
And yeah, I'm gonna while we're going, I'm gonna also keep an eye out for a place that may sell scrolls or things potentially.
I'm gonna keep a lookout for a place that maybe sells like big cloaks or something so I can cover myself up.
Look, if you want it in Kern, you can find it. You may just have to ask around, but we can make it happen. So, as you're both walking, why don't you both roll me a perception check?
Natural 20.
Ooh, nice. That's good because I rolled a 7 plus 6, so 13.
13. Zania,
encounters.
you are a bit distracted by the looks that you're given. Now, there are a lot of different races here in Kern. You hadn't seen a Leonin yet because you're pretty much on the opposite end of the world. So you're a bit rare, a kind of sight to see here. There are a lot of children that come up next to the horse that you're riding and pull upon your kind of Greek-like gown and begin asking you, "Ma'am, what are you?"
I'm a Leonin. Is
As
that
you
what you?
as you say that, like children do, they go Leone, and they giggle off and run away, and just going to talk to each other. And they're like, "I knew it! I told you she was!" And just kind of enjoying the sight of seeing something rare through here in the city. It's rare that Kern gets anything rare, and so being a Leonin, you stand out to the children. You're not an unheard of race to be seen here for sure, but seeing a Leonin travel so far away from their two homelands is definitely rare.
How were those kids laughing at me?
I think it was more so curiosity than anything. I think the fact
Oh.
that you are a strong lioness woman to them is surprising.
Oh, all right. Okay, I thought they were laughing at me. About to say, beat those kids up
No.
if I need to. Oh,
I think the kids probably were trying to take a guess, and they said something more crass than they meant, I'm sure. But yeah.
great. All right. You wouldn't happen to have a spare cloak, would you?
I have, yeah.
I'm gonna pull out because How has like big baggy clothes and stuff. I'm just gonna like throw something to Zinnia that she can just kind of toss over herself.
You throw on a few, just kind of basically you throw on Hal's night blanket on over yourself, and since you're kind of riding behind Hal, since it's his horse, he's kind of got to steer it there. It almost disguises you both a little bit because you're far taller than Hal is, and so this blanket kind of wrapped around your shoulders. You still have your hair and ponytail that leads out up top, but you could just, because your hair is so tall from behind, people might not even know that you are a Leonin. So, with that though, as you're traveling, how you're going along, you're going at a decent speed because these alleys back here are large. There's large blocks that go through here, and you're on a horse. When people hear horses, their natural instinct is to move out of the way because that's how it works here in the city. If there's a cargo thing coming through, move or you get run over is generally how things go. So you're going at quite a speed, taking a look at all these houses. Lots of people kind of sitting out on their stoops. Lots of people bringing goods to and fro, especially baked goods and small breakfasts and lunch type things that are cooked to these houses. It's kind of their version of Uber Eats in the very beginning. Lots of bakers bring stuff out to these large buildings that are up at the top, and then people come out during lunch and dinner time, and if they'd like to buy food, they come down to the bottom of the building, buy the food, and then they bring it up to their top if they don't want to cook it themselves. With that, as you're going through, it is rare that you see stone at the base of some of these because you are north enough, being that you had to run away during all of this. You ran quite north. You're more in the slums of the town than the other parts where you saw where at least had stone bases. All of these are built pretty high up and pretty quickly, and therefore not intended to have had these tall of buildings, and so even they're wooden on the bottom. However, you do see some that are stone. Most of the ones that are stone have shop signs out on the front, some of which you see with cauldrons, some of which you see with mugs of ales, swords, seeming to be smithies shops. Some of them you can feel the heat coming off of nearby forges. However, what are the languages that you speak?
Both of us, or
Just how with your nat 20?
Oh, okay. Common, Elvish, Undercommon, and Celestial.
Beautiful. As you're going through, you see one rounded archway stone building at the bottom. There seems to be letters from all different races and words that are on here, all of which seem to spell something that you can't quite make out, but in Common, Undercommon, and Celestial, you read MG in these runes that are on these large stones that go in a circle-like pattern to this circle door here.
Would I get a feeling this is like Mage Guild stuff, like the like?
I would
do
say
I
that
see
you've
looking
never, roll me a history, see if you've ever been to or heard of the Mages Guild.
I think only +1, 12.
12.
I mean, unless I can guidance myself.
You can kind of make it out that it might be. More what gives it away is the fact that the writing on these rocks glow and are in a myriad of different arcane colors. You don't necessarily know that it's a mage's guild, but it is magic and seeming to be inviting.
We should stop here. I'm curious of something.
And I'm going to pull up the horse. And as we hop down, the horse is going to like kind of go off to like an alleyway, like where it'd park, and then just vanish on the wind. And I'm going to enter this place with Zinnia, because if this is a scroll shop or something, couple things. Because Hal's not just doing this to get Tiny Hut. It's mostly to get Tiny Hut. But the potential of finding a disguised self-scroll or something for Zinnia is a good prospect that Hal does want to look for.
Sounds good to me. Right. As you kind of park and disappear this horse here, there's a few people in the alleyway kind of carving an apple there with the back of a knife as you disappear the horse. They don't even seem to give you a second thought as you do so before you head on over to the door. You notice in front of the door, there is no handle. It is a solid wooden wall. Roll me an investigation, both of you.
I'm going to cast Guidance on Zinnia. Guidance high five?
Right. Choo. 11.
Investigation. Do I have proficiency in that one, or is that another +1? Okay. With Guidance, 18.
18. Zinnia, why would they put a door here if they're not going to put a handle? It just doesn't make sense. I don't get it. How else would you be able to get into this door? Before how you just think, do I need a handle if I got to push it?
I'm just going to push.
As you put your hand up to the door, it immediately begins to ripple like water. You see the wood almost just become like a wave. Think the Mario paintings, Mario 64 jumping into them. It
Oh, yeah.
kind of waves in front of you.
I looked at Zinnia and I just go,
Mages do know how to make good doors.
and I'm going to walk in.
I follow.
How walks through the door and disappears. As soon as you enter, the room is 100 times as big as you would expect based off of the ground floor that you saw outside. That may have been 20 feet by 20 feet. This here is a library for kings. As you step in, there is a small wooden desk out front with an Aarakocra man with slicked back feathers, all white with a huge wings that span their back and a large black robe that seems to have engravings and runes that go down the trim of the robe. There are people going across these huge, almost Colosseum stair-like library rungs, pulling books off by the hundreds in here. This room is not unoccupied. You are not the only people in here. However, the Aarakocra man greets you with a, "Hello, how can I help you?"
I got to break character and say I love that voice. Holy God. Wow, that caught me off guard. How that was. Wow. Hal's gonna just give like a big.
Hey, I've a bit of a shopping list. I'm going to safely assume by the display that you guys sell scrolls here. New in town, humor me.
Well, that depends. Are you a member of the guild? We can sell you anything that you like here, but other than that, we have to charge you a higher fee if you're not a member of the guild.
I'm not a member of the guild, but may I ask, as someone who is very interested in the arcane arts, how would someone join the guild? Again, treat me as if I'm 5-year-old who just walked in.
With his glasses, he kind of looks down at the both of you. Seeing your spears in you, he kind of eyes you up and down before... Well, if you have a indication for the arcane arts, we used to be our own sect once upon a time before we combined with the Adventurers Guild long ago. But suppose all you need to do is be in the Adventurers Guild now.
Oh, like the Red Wagon Inn?
He looks a bit disdainful. Yes.
Oh, I'm not, but I am associate with my friend. So
You show the pin.
Hello.
Ah, very nice to meet you, fellow adventurer. I assume if you're not familiar with the with the Mages Guild, you have no proficiency or indication towards the arcane arts, correct?
she's a divine warrior. She's very familiar with the arcane and very talented at that.
My respect for your religion, and the work that you must do as a scholar. But we are very different here in the Mages Guild. We are the library of Kern, and we have all books and manner that you might need in the way of scrolls, spells to learn upon, histories of the arcane, but we have nothing in the way of items here. That's further in the city towards the center. But if you need scrolls, you can definitely find them here.
I'm looking for the scroll of Tiny Hut and something for a disguised self. Would you happen to have those on hand?
Tiny hut, tiny hut. Is that, it catches in my throat every now and again. Leomund's collection, correct?
Yeah.
Great scholar he was. Let me find what you need, and I will be back in just a moment. The hut, and you mentioned one other. Forgive me.
It's disguised self. If we could get multiple scrolls of that, that would be much appreciated. Just one or two.
I have to ask. The disguised self. Are you a follower of Thaddeus Dorpendor?
No.
He's going to insight you.
Okay.
Roll a persuasion against him.
It was Jakey all along.
Okay, I'm gonna switch out from the dicey encounters.
What did you get?
Can I guide myself again? I really want to get that 30.
Oh my god, no, you're fine.
That's I swear to God, like pinching right there. I'm gonna change out dice. I'm gonna use the Jade Ivory. These dice are so very good.
You can find the Dicey Encounters dice at diceencountersdice.com. I still have some up for sale, so if you want them, you want to roll as well as Jakey, come buy them.
It's true. They're so weighted. It's not even funny. Especially when I roll death saves. All the ones I get on those, masterpiece.
Drew puts just a little bit of iron shavings in there, so you can't see it. Your friends would never know.
It's true.
So, with your natural 20, he looks you up and down. No, you wouldn't be. Good. Very good. I will find you the scrolls you're looking for, and then I will return.
Thank you.
He points over to the side. There's a velvety set of chairs nearby with a floating kind of silver platter with this icy lemon water on the side with tea bags ready to be used if you would like to make your own tea in the time waiting for this Aarakocra man to return.
How do?
Zinnia?
Zinnia would like some as well. Yes.
You head on over. As you sit in the waiting room, you're not the only one here in this kind of coat rack room. There are several books off to the side. There are also posters that have wanted posters with several figures' names that all seem to describe crimes against the arcane rather than wanted for murder or thievery. You don't know what crimes against the arcane mean, but there is an entire wall here of them. As you sit here, you wait for a bit. There's a few elvish women that are reading these small ancient scrolls in parchment that seems to be very delicate as they slowly unravel it, trying not to damage what they're reading before kind of slowly rattling it up. You're here for about 10 minutes before the Aarakocra man You hear him before you see him as he kind of just instinctually, as he's flying downwards. You can hear his wings flap down as he comes from one of the higher rungs of books as he lands before you, ever graceful as he slams down before. I think he pulls out of a small little messenger bag off to the side. I have the scrolls you are looking for here. And he sets out a few on the tray. There is a stack in a pyramid style of 12 scrolls on one side, as well as a book that is pristine. There's no dust on it whatsoever. The entire front of it is gilded with bright blue runic chalk. As he says, I have no scroll for your hut, but I have the book if you would like to rent it and return it.
Yeah, that would be excellent.
Do your scrawling as quickly as possible. The books return once we set a date magically. You do not need to worry about that. So, but you will have a time limit.
Fantastic. I will do that first thing tonight.
He hands you over the book and says, 12 scrolls here. How many would you need for this disguised purposes?
Can I get a venture of like before Hal answers like a price on everything right now, just so I know?
You could ask
I
him.
don't want to say this many and then backpedal.
How much is each scroll and the rental of the book?
Disguise self is not exactly a high-level magic. It's something pretty easy.
Exactly.
I could, let me see here. I would only charge 50 gold for non-member, of course, per scroll.
And per member, I look at Zinnia.
What if I purchase the scroll?
Member of the guild, ma'am. You have not... We are part of the Adventurers Guild, but there are still initiations that you need to do.
Fair enough. And the rental of the book cost?
How long do you need it for?
I mean, I would be transcribing this tonight, so 2 days.
48
24 hours.
I would only require 50 gold then.
Okay. I'm gonna give him 200 gold for the book, and then 3 scrolls of disguise self. As Hal slowly watches his bank account just drain.
He holds out a sack in front of you. Zinnia, roll a perception for me.
Oh, there it is. Change the dice, and we get a 7. Am I in direct sunlight? Because I'll roll with disadvantage.
You're indoors, so lots of candle and magical light.
10 total.
13.
By dicey encounters. Zinnia, as Hal drops the coin inside the bag, you notice you do not hear any coins clacking against each other as he drops it in the bag before the bird puts it back onto his side and says, very well. And he hands you 2 scrolls and the book. The book itself, you can feel, is ancient. You're not sure how it keeps up in such pristine conditions. Before he, as you're holding the books, places his hands on it, you see his eyes quickly flash a bright purple as the book does so as well, and some dust from the nearby floor flies up and says, do not worry, I will get my book back. Please? I have others. As he points over to the desk, there are people kind of waiting there that have come in and says, I must attend before they get antsy. Show yourself out. Other than that, you're free to peruse.
Thank you very much. Have a great day, sir.
You too, as well. He kind of looks at Zinnia and says, that pin that you have there, I have not seen one of that make. Where do you hail?
I hail from many places, but we got this pin. Oh, dear Lord, what city did we get this pin in?
Ashburn.
Oh, man, it's like my otherworldly passed away friend is speaking
Otto,
to me from the dead.
says,
Ashburn.
I guess
Ashburn.
Otto would know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
"Oh." He quickly reaches into his pouch, opens up a scroll, and says, "Elfin Vale. I see. Did not think Leonin hailed from there. I shall make a note that you do."
Oh, no. I mean, before then, I actually came from the Scorch, but then before that, it doesn't matter. I really came from the Silverlands.
How fares the guild out in Ashburn?
Completely honest, they're a bit damaged. There was a dragon attack.
Oh, unfortunate.
Lost a couple of my friends.
Green dragon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So close to the forest. I always feared. Well, good that you're safe. Travel safe through the city and return if you ever need anything, or if you ever choose to change your profession.
Thank you.
He nods and
As soon as we-
curtsies. Go ahead.
We leave. I'm like, was that guy super judgy or what? He just seemed like a prick.
I mean, yeah, but he's proud of what he does.
I'm gonna give Hal the 3 scrolls I purchased, because he said 2, but I bought 3 with
Sorry,
my
3,
broke
yeah.
money.
I'm bad
No,
with
it's
money.
fine. I give her the 3 scrolls so she can use them as she likes, disguise self. And then while she's getting ready to pick what form she's gonna take in these, I'm gonna start casting the Phantom Steed again. And yeah, when she's disguised, we're gonna ride off.
Beautiful.
Is there any other being that's as tall as me? I mean, I'm assuming there's no like orcs or.
Oh, there's everything here in the city. This is
Oh,
Kern,
but-
baby. You got it here.
Also, disguise self can alter your height by a foot.
Oh, all right. I'll
Mhm.
to be smaller
What are you choosing
by
to
a
be?
foot. 6. I mean, maybe just. Ooh, I will also be a half elf.
Ah, I like it. As your cat-like ears quickly turn to a longer point, and your ponytail pulls back. What half elf?
Why did I think that Hal was a half elf when I know he's a drow? Why did I say also?
Are you turning into a drow? Is that what you were saying?
Yeah, I don't know why I said half elf. I apologize.
Beautiful.
I'm a drow.
As your hair turns to a slick, dark black, your ears point backward, your skin grays heavily. You're not the same purple that Hao is. He is quite unique in that sense. But your figure now mimics a drow in Greek attire with a spear. You change the color of it as to not be so obvious. Your pauldron's no longer gold, but bright silver, and your sash a purple, mimicking Hao's outfit, so that you look like you belong together as you head out the door. And boom, as soon as you exit the ripple, the kind of smell of large city life hits you again, no longer in this clean library-esque area.
What do you think, Hal?
Honestly, suits you.
he laughs, and then brings the horse on around.
I mean, if you ever consider, a full transformation, I support drow.
I do too. Not bad, not bad.
As Hao quickly creates a steed, seemingly from nowhere in the nearby alley. Those same men are there, no longer eating an apple, just kind of picking last bits off of the core there. As you bring another horse, they look at you, but again, continue what they're doing. You don't seem to faze them. As the two of you hop onto the horse and head on further towards the center of town. It is 7:54. It seems like a solid place to call for a very quick break. Why don't we come back at 8:02, because we're probably close to the end of 7:54. After that break, we will come back and do the token giveaway. That way, whoever wants to win that token can have that and keep that in their back pocket ready to go. And then we will continue on from there very, very quickly. Ren and Flint will be coming right back with you. Sound good, everybody?
Sounds
Awesome.
so good.
Right. When we BRB, make sure you check out the new song from Words Mythologic. It's not going to start at that song because I have to swap it over, but it will be that song. So check it out. See you soon. All right. We are back, everybody. Thanks for... those are little cuties. That's what we call them here in America because we can't just call them small oranges.
That's what we call
Wait.
Jakey too.
Jakey's got a bunch of himself.
Little cutie.
Little cutie that he is.
Cutie.
Right.
Oh, these are me?
No
Little
juggle.
buns.
Begone, thought.
Right. With that, if you haven't entered the giveaway, now is like your last second chance, because I am certain John is going to end it here in just a moment. If you aren't sure what the token does, the winner is going to get a token that they can kill any NPC that isn't a god, isn't a player, that they want. If they want to save it for where there's an enemy that they're having a tough time with, they can totally do that.
John.
If they want to kill Robert, there's no limits. Go nuts with it and have a fun time. So, if you haven't done it yet, John,
Drum roll.
go ahead and do it. Oh, is John Quarlton Hanks or Tanks?
Yeah.
Get your applause ready. Chaviner! Chaviner's won multiple.
For good, Chav.
Use it for good, Chav. Chav.
You robbed me, my Glock!
He goes, nice.
Nice. Chav.
I'm also really glad that it's someone that is here for every episode.
And not just gonna like show up 10 episodes later. Oh, by the way,
some rando.
kill him.
Nothing against the randos. We love you too, but
So, Chav, you tell me in the chat, and if chat you ever see Chav say anything about when they want to use the token, make sure that you
Use
get my
the
attention. Chav, you can totally use it now, or if you want to save it for an opportune moment, that's all you. But if you have an NPC that you just want gone now, absolutely totally fine. But we are, as a rando, I understand. Thanks, Duck in a Box, or Duck a Box. Right, so we're going to continue right on, and we're going to continue back with Ren and Flint. You've been walking for some time at this point. It is nearing nighttime. You're hoping to get to that inn. You can start to see in the distance things as the height of the buildings, the average height has gone down. Again, the city is like a bowl where the center is the kind of lowest point in the bowl. We'll save it for a prime moment. Love it. Is the center of the bowl. You're nearing where you know the inn to be. It's kind of coming back to you a bit, Ren, here. And Amazon Prime. Jakey, I hate you. I used to give Alex GFYs for in-chat stuff, but I won't. You're starting to remember this area because you've gone through here before so many times, both Flint and Ren, looking for Marcus. So you're feeling like, all right, we're about to get here. We can stop for the night, and then in the morning we can go right, find our friends, find Marcus. No, that deserves a GFY. Word says, you know what? Chat's spoken.
Oh.
How you get one?
damn. All right.
For shilling for us?
For shilling for Amazon. As
Fair
look,
enough.
it's your deity that said it, so I have to agree.
Well, no, that's great because I could see how, like, but why?
He hears on the wind, just go fuck yourself. Right. So as you're nearing the center of this bowl, you're starting to see some buildings that are only 10 stories high, a few that are 5 stories. You can't wait to see how immaculate the buildings that are 1 story have become since your time here, Ren. Robert and Celine are looking tired. Flint, Ren, you're starting to feel it. At this point, you've gone on for almost 2 days straight. Everybody has a point of exhaustion that's been going at this rate.
Yep.
You start to see more stalls that are catered to higher end goods as you're coming down here through the center. No longer are you just seeing, this is a tomato stand for all your tomato needs whenever you're about to leave the city. Oh, this is the wicker basket stand for all your wicker basket needs whenever you leave the city, as they all say the same thing. Now you're seeing fine goods. Jade combs like Salt has stolen before would be commonplace here. You're seeing brooches made of the finest material, silk clothing that you can only dream to have of your own, things that you would have never seen in 1,000 years in another city, as the creative minds that flock to Kern create just such beautiful works of art like this. Some of them, as far as descriptors as I can give, think some of them like the old medieval like ball gowns with huge froofy bottoms. Some of them like Indian saris with the finest of silks, kimonos in bright colors. All different manner of clothing can be found here in its highest form of fashion. Even some long-tailed, almost tuxedo-like things that you might see in a masquerade-esque ball. There are even masquerade ball masks throughout here as you finally crest the circle that surrounds the great fountain of myrrh. The fountain that depicts all of the founders who have been on the Council of Myrrh for ages, each one of them spouting and spewing out water in some way, shape, or form into this huge, large, open water area here. The water itself is maybe only about 2 feet deep. This fountain, however, is maybe about 500 feet in diameter. A large circle, no tier, just one flat one with statues that spout water in all manner of areas. Some children are even in the fountain playing. That is not unheard of nor discouraged. Some people are dragging buckets through this water to grab the cleanest, clearest water that you have ever seen. This water, go ahead and roll me a history check, Flint and Ren.
Natural 20. On my new blood dice.
Made
Also
by
from Dicey Encounters.
Yeah.
Made by me.
Flint.
Weighted with iron.
Yeah. Quite literally.
Flint.
Flint got a 22.
Ah, solid. So both of you remember that this fountain was once kept clean and provided beautiful spring water that flowed ever forth by the goddess Suni, the goddess of beauty, one of the oldest goddesses that have lived for a long time, known throughout the plains for her great beauty. But being that you are an Asterion, long ago, the gods were killed in the War of the Gods. Suni no longer exists, but the water still flows freely. It's been some time since you've really thought about it or inquired about it. You don't know how it's kept up, but somebody, something is keeping up the beautiful, fresh spring water that is here, that everyone plays in with no fear of getting any dirt or germs in people's drinking water. And it is just the most refreshing thing that you've ever... It's like taking it straight out of the stream of a glacier. You could look into it and see nothing but pure, cold drinking water here within this fountain. This is the place of gathering. Stalls are not allowed to be up next to this great stone structure here in the middle, but they are lined around these 1- and 2-story buildings of just immaculate marble and stone that have been here for ages in the very center of this city. You don't think you've ever seen buildings quite so beautiful in your life, but you've seen them before. What you also have seen before is towards the northern pathway, there is a Red Wagon Inn, the only 3-story building that stands here amongst the rest of the kind of wealthy buildings and patrons that are around this area. The Red Wagon Inn stands out by the sign that's on the front of it and its bright red clay roofs. Though this one does look different. It has immaculate polished stone, not marble like some of the other ones, but very clean stone that marks the front of it. The windows themselves are pristine. You can see through them. They're not that kind of coarse material where it's more just to be able to see if there's light or not. You can see through these plain as you could a window in the modern day. But you see that off in the distance on the north side. You finally think, I can stop here and sleep for the night, as the sun has now fully set. But you can see up in the sky for the first time in a while, and you can see the stars and the moon above. It is still a new moon in the sky, and it's a sight welcomed after having traveled through the city and the exhaustion beginning to take hold. What are you all doing?
We're almost there. Just a little bit further.
Flint's
Just a little bit further.
He's bent over. He's kind of tired. He's got his hands on his knees, and he's going to cast his floating disc. And he's going to plop on it, and he's going to say, "To the inn, man. Let's get in." He's going to start slowly floating lazily towards the Red Wagon Inn.
Ren looks over. Oh, why is your levitating disc so creaky?
As Flint begins to slowly, gently float over, Celine looks over and says, "Could you have done this the whole time?"
You know, you're right. I probably could have.
That's not all that important. Could you have done this in shared? Because my feet are just killing me. This kind of saying as y'all are walking towards the inn.
Flint's gonna move up a little bit and act like he didn't hear her.
Wonderful. Sorry. As Flint, you begin to slowly slide your way forward. Ren, Robert, and Celine follow along the curvature of this fountain leading towards the north side of the pathway. You're actually going to go towards the corner that leads to the north and south road of the city, the other main road that kind of goes through the hub here. As you're floating along, the lights in the buildings all begin to go on as it becomes dark throughout here. Several lanterns are lit by wizards that walk out that seem to be a part of the inn that just light up the lanterns and run back in with a bright white light. Also, Jakey boy, look at that recap. You the best.
Got you.
Do you have a point of inspo already?
I don't.
There you go. You get one for being a good boy. Good Jakey boy. See, inspo even from chat. Even though one of them was Drew or Will. I could see they're just messaging like, okay, I'm gonna do it this night. I'll do the recap. Next night you do it, and then I'll ask him to give you an inspo next night.
Don't give away our secrets.
Those are our secrets.
As you all head on into the inn, it is far nicer than any of the other Red Wagon Inns that you've stayed to. It may be that they cater to higher end clientele, you're not sure, but you like the look of it. As you walk in, you are immediately, even in Queenstown, this one is nice. As you walk in here, there is immediately a large polar bear skin rug on the floor, bright white, and before you even begin to step on it, the furs begin to glow with a magical blue glow, and you step down with your boot, and all of the dust and the dirt from your travels seems to have been gone. You now understand how this white rug skin has been laid so immaculately still as you walk into the building. This is essentially the best magical doormat that you could possibly ask for. The inn in here is lit with large white light lanterns. The actual table itself is carved and it's stained with a beautiful mahogany front here behind the bar, where there are stools with padded leather to sit up on the top. All of the tables within the inn as well are this kind of dark mahogany. There are heads of animals and beasts galore around this inn here. There's a one-eyed cyclops with a corn on the top of his head that must have been quite the prize, as he is as tall as you, sitting over the hearth there. There's a stage off to the side where you can hear lovely bardic music in cellos and lutes slowly strumming along. There's no words to the songs, though you can feel the beauty emanating from them. Several other patrons looking as adventurers just like yourselves in here, also talking to what look to be higher-end townsfolk, some women and men in long garbs that are sitting at the table, seemingly discussing quests and work to be done here. It seems to be much more formal than the I post a quest on the board here, though there is a quest board off and on the side. Behind the counter there stands a man shirtless with an immense amount of curly chest hair and long horns that come off and curl up to the front of his head there. He seems to be polishing a wine glass before setting it down under the table as he looks up at you all. Best description I can give to him is James McAvoy in a younger age, perhaps hiding behind some sort of Lion, Witch, or Wardrobe. He looks like James McAvoy's satyr from The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, is the best descriptor I can give. And as you get closer to the bar front, you recognize and hear the clops of his hooves, as he, in fact, is a satyr. As he says, "Hey, can I help you? Sorry, you look very new here in town, I can see. You wiped your feet at the door, right?"
Ren walks back and wipes.
You make an active motion to do it. I was kidding. I just please. What do you needing rooms for the night? Are you members?
2 rooms, please.
Right. Are you members?
He is.
Robert.
You.
Oh, yes.
Looking over at Flint.
He's gonna do precipitation and just create a member's seal right there. Yeah, man. And he's still on his disc, but he's kind of like laying starfish, and the disc is kind of like wobbly rotating because he's tired.
Are you attempting to pass it off as a real pin? Or are you just being kind of, yeah, I totally got a pin, but very obvious about it? Or are you passing it off as real?
We're going to go with real.
Okay. Since you're doing Arcana, I will let you either do a stealth check or an Arcana check.
I'm going to do an Arcana check.
17. As the man looks at it, says, "Oh, okay, yeah, 2 members then. So, you know what? I'll just waive the fee for the rest of you. If you already got 2 members, welcome to Kern. Glad to have you here."
Thank you.
Well,
Sorry, can I please have the keys now? Sorry.
Sorry. You're looking. Yes, absolutely. He reaches down under the table and says, "Just 2 rooms, 4 rooms. What will you need?"
2 should be good.
He reaches down, pulls out a key, throws one to Robert since he's a member, and throws the other one to Flint, who's still kind of laying on their little saucer.
Grabs, he goes, "Thanks, man. Disco away!" And he's
Also,
gonna slowly spin upwards.
DX dice.
DX dice. What a nice person. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for being awesome.
Flint's gonna go up.
Okay, you all waste no time beginning to head up the stairs. I know Will is quiet. That's the nature of his mic. I have him, and you'll all be able to see right now on 200% volume on Discord. His mic is just quiet. I don't know if you can
Just yell into the mic, Will. Just yell into it. Just
Loading disco away!
That'll do it.
And I'm deaf.
As you had to ask. You begin heading up the stairs. Robert, Celine, also very exhausted, are immediately going to go upstairs as well. You asked for 2 rooms. Who's splitting rooms?
Me and Flint, Robert, and Celine.
Agreed.
Sounds good. As Ren, you head on upstairs. Flint, you've got the key. You hop off your little saucer, unlock the door. Before even opening the door, hop back up on the saucer, unlock the door, and move your way on inwards and begin to kind of bed up for the night. Anything that the 2 of you are wanting to be doing? Also, Rybadad has made it back home. So, woo, hi, Rybadad, Rybamom. Glad that you're back home.
That's awesome.
I hate it. True. What's wrong with you? Flint, you and...
How old are you?
Flint, you and Ren head on into the room. Anything that you want to be doing before the night is done? Or just immediately just going to go to sleep?
No, Ren's... Wow.
Sounds good. Flint?
Flint's gonna kind of flop off his disc onto the bed. And he's gonna take a big sigh. Just, all right. And
Jesus.
a bunch of cuties.
So many cuties.
He's gonna go.
So many
kinda
of
in
our
like that.
viewers. Tell your friends.
He's gonna say kind of in that spoken voice, kind of like when you're at like a sleepover and you know you're supposed to go to sleep and you're very tired, but you're just kind of still excited and happy that you're still talking, even though it's way past the bedtime. He's
Way
gonna
past exhaustion, way past bedtime, but just too excited to sleep yet.
He's gonna Ren. This kind of feels familiar to me. I think we'll find Marcus soon, man. I think we'll find your brother.
All you hear is just a lovely
Flint's gonna go,
Out.
yeah, that's what I thought. And he's gonna just pass out.
As Flint falls asleep, Robert and Celine go into their room. We're going to go quickly to Hao and Zania. You're traveling during this time, disguised both as, well, disguised one of you as a drow, but the other one just is a drow as you make your way through the streets. It's beginning to near nighttime, but you're able to make pretty good time here through these streets heading towards the center. Is there anything else that you're needing to be looking for on your way?
Not for me particularly. While we're riding, though, Hao is teaching Zinnia like how to swear in Undercommon because she's a drow now. So he's doing that thing where he's getting her to repeat stuff, like just like teaching her just like heinous things to say just for funsies, like while she's a drow for now, because she's got 2 more scrolls, and if it's gonna like not take us the full time, so that anytime she wants to be a drow, she can act like one. how like what does.
And while this is happening, I'm gonna keep an eye out for. Well, I know I have like a blanket or bedroll covering me, but like if we just see cloaks or robes at the side of the road, I don't want to waste the time being in drow form, to pick up a robe or cloak along the way.
Okay. Yeah, you've got the blanket, but go ahead and roll me a perception. See if you find somebody's loose raincoat that you might be able to just nab.
Okay.
I'll guidance that.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Okay. Wait, what was it? Perception?
Yes.
27.
If Drew says he's going to guidance something, then it's going to be a high roll tonight. As you're walking by,
Divine intervention.
you see a bunch of people beginning to head indoors as it's sunset at this point, nearing dark, and you're wanting to get to your destination as soon as possible based off of last night. But you see a few people scurrying their children in, and as they do so, they're going to come back out for their stuff. But sitting outside is one mother's large cloak with a hood on it. Could be yours if you want it.
I'm snatching out. Just ride by and snatch it.
As you're
I
going
use
by,
Mage Hand to help her out.
It's not hard enough for Zinnia. She's a agile person on the back of this horse. You just drive on by as she grabs it right off the ground, quickly throws it up and over. Roll me a sleight of hand real quick.
Okay.
Guidance again.
Whoosha. 15 plus 4 plus 1. 20.
20. Also, I like the gigantic Loki says stealing and cursing. You're a real drow now. As you throw on the hood quickly, you cover yourself up. It's such a smooth motion. You don't even think you would have recognized that you weren't wearing a hood 2 seconds ago. As it is nearing dark and you're currently in the streets in the back, how you realize you need to hurry up or else you're going to be in the same exact situation as last night. So go ahead and roll me a animal handling to see if you can speed up your horse without hurting people as you're going through here.
Man, am I guidanced for this?
You can be.
Massage your shoulders while I'm on the back of
Jakey.
Sweating.
You got this, buddy. You're so moist.
How sweats an undercommon? Guidance with a +3, animal handling. I think my animal handling is actually a 0, which is weird. Can I question? Because I'm commanding a spectral steed. Can I use my charisma? Because I have no bonus for animal handling. Because right now it's like, I don't know if it matters. It's a 17 right now with no bonus.
I would say no. It still functions as a horse. You basically will it to have sentience and existence, but you kind of tell it what to do with your mind. But it is still, treated as a horse.
Okay, then yes. 14 plus 3, so 17.
Beautiful. So you do pick up the pace quite a bit. You're no longer doing the going through the town here. And as you're doing so, there's a few people that are in your way that you just kind of move as you're going through. As people run on by. With the 17, you're able to get to what you see to be a large street. You know it's not the east or western street, but it's so wide, this has to be one of the larger streets. And as you look to your right, so what would be to the south, you see It's not sponsored, Drew. As you look to the south, you see in the distance a large fountain with lights lighting up a central area. You're not too far from the center of town here. You're, I would say, maybe about half a mile at this point, but you've definitely exited the back alley, as it were. There's quite a few people running from these streets, mostly horse and cart going through here, taking goods to and from this central area on this north to south route. So, being on a horse, you would blend right in. Heading to the south and to the center?
Yeah. Hal's gonna do like kind of like peeking as like if there's anywhere like to stop, like small inns, people who are like doing that like almost like a what's the word I'm looking for? Like a hostel living, like a come stay at my place kind of thing.
Okay.
Just like seeing if there's any of that, just because in case we can stop at the side.
Zinnia,
But,
Hal,
yeah.
both roll me a perception as you're riding along.
High five.
Yeah, I was gonna say guidance high five. I love the guidance high five.
Bunch of nerds.
Also, is it still daylight? Is it still daylight,
It
or
is
is it like
nighttime
evening
now.
light?
You know what? The reason I love the guidance high five is because that's my second natural 20 of the night.
All right, we're done with guidance.
Guys, sorry, guidance has now been replaced with reverse guidance. Every time you use it, you automatically fail.
Every
it's not
enemy
even minus D4.
is a drow. They all have Bane. Just all of them have it now.
It's funny because I was like, oh, I'm excited because it was like a 14, which I was kind of like, but then +4 and +3, so 21 as well.
Sounds good.
27.
As with the nat 20, 27, as you all make your way to the south, you're looking out to see if there's any places to stay nearby here. And you can see a couple signs for inns, but they're all pretty close to where you've been told that the Red Wagon Inn is near the center. Being that you're only half a mile away, as you begin trotting, you get closer, only about a quarter mile. You can see where it starts to curve out and create this little central area. But when you're maybe about 500 feet away from what would be kind of the start to the central hub there, both of you are looking to the side, and there's not so much an alleyway, but such as a larger street that leads into this small little alcove off to what would be your right or back to the west. And it's surrounded by buildings that are much taller, but it's a temple that's here, almost hidden beneath these larger buildings. It itself would be about 2-3 stories tall, but the buildings around it sit at maybe 5 stories, and they're all stone. You wouldn't even know this building was here if you weren't able to walk right in front of it. The building itself is strange and odd compared to all the others. It has marks and spots for old, what look to be rivers and streams that are here, but it has since been overgrown with algae and things from the sea. A lot of the windows themselves have been smashed in and are really hard to tell what they once were. Zinnia and Hal, since you both rode so high, roll me a religion check.
Oh no. Oh no.
Guidance high five.
Blah. 14.
14. How?
23. 18 +4 +1.
Zinnia, there's no reason for you to know this. You've never been this far north. This is not a religion you would have been familiar with. However, how you are of the Whispers. You've heard this name, though you know it to be a long dead religion. Through the large stained glass circle up at the top, there is a hole in it from a rock that must have been thrown long ago, but you recognize that it is a female's face created in the stained glass, with bits of bright red hair. This temple, or church in itself, must have once belonged to Suni, the goddess of beauty, before she was killed. Zinnia, however, you don't recognize this at all, but you do see a shadow behind one of the stained glass of this abandoned temple.
How is gonna explain this to Zinnia, but he's doing it in super slow undercommon, like practicing what they were practicing through the day while they were traveling. So that's like anything she doesn't understand, he repeats in common, just so it's kind of like this is undercommon things, and then he's gonna explain it.
But is someone standing? Is the shadow moving, or what's it doing?
You saw it pass behind one of
Oh,
the stained glass windows as if going across. But you did not see
uh,
who, if it was a thing, if it was just a passing shadow, but your keen, lion-like eyes caught it, though you appear to be a drow.
did you see that? Though it looked like someone was moving inside, from right to left.
I didn't see. Do you want to go check it out in there? Maybe that's a place we can stay for the night.
I mean, it doesn't look like we have very many choices right now, anyways. So let's do it, I guess.
Sounds good. Plus, if I get to sit down for a little bit, I can make it more comfortable in there too.
House says
Oh.
proudly as he hops off the horse as we go in.
Okay.
So heading on into the temple?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Sounds like a place to sleep.
You both walk over towards the long, tall wooden doors. You can tell they once were immaculate. You can see bits of paint flecks that were once on there of some scenery of bright colors, but since the paint has not been kept up with, it's your guess is as good as mine. There are statues out in front of it that are holding great large bowls in their hands below these basins that seem to lead out with nothing inside of them. But the doors themselves have handles made of silver inlaid with immaculate gold trim. It is dusty. The silver is a bit rusty near the top of where the screws are holding it into the door. But you don't see anything that says that this door wouldn't work.
How's gonna put a gold piece in each bowl and kind of turn up to the things and do just a little like bow.
I hope it's okay if we rest in your home. And hope that there's still remnants of you watching.
And I'm gonna push open the doors.
Okay. As you long unused doors, based on the sound they make, have sat unused for years, possibly decades, as you push open these immaculate church doors. When you do so, you hear a hinge pop at the top of one of the doors as it kind of cracks open, and the top of it moves, cementing itself down into the ground. You're not going to be able to easily close that thing without fixing that hinge, so the door, for the moment, will remain open on the left side. But as you look inside here, there are bits of small starlight hanging within this temple. Up at the top, looking as if you were looking out at the night sky itself, there are small little stars speckling on the stone roof. The stained glass that also mimics the sides, which must have been a immaculately beautiful color at one point, have all since been destroyed via rocks. There are a few boards towards the bottom, seeming to have been keeping people out from the lower parts of these little areas here, but besides that, you see large church pews, some of them long since destroyed, knocked over. The kind of bright red of the velvet pillows have since been ransacked with knives, looking for anything of value that might have once been hidden inside here. And a large podium that sits beneath, again, what must have been an immaculate painting that has since been torn and ripped from the top. This tapestry that once sat as the site of beauty for those attending worship they must have seen has since been gone. There seems to be a pathway and a room that leads to the right of this church and a room that leads off to the left. Near this pew is a kind of set of 10 stairs that lead to this large podium where sermons must have once been held, and a stone wall that sits behind it that kind of jets out in front to make it stand out and seem more austere. There is not a lot of light in here. How? You can see just fine. And Zania, with your dark vision, you can see a bit in here.
Which side did the shadow pass from, on the left or the right?
It went towards the right.
The shadow went to the right, so maybe we should go there first, clear it out, check what's going on.
Sure. Here, I'm gonna. Can you Can you look down the hallway for a sec?
Sure.
How when Zania looks away, like the green eyes pop out from behind his neck and goes like, "See, they're not looking. It's fine." And slowly she slips out, and he's gonna place her up on like a higher kind of area so she can sit in the dark. And basically mentally he's just gonna keep tabs on this room while they go forward.
Okay.
And then he's gonna
We're going to pause for you two right there and go back to Flint and Ren. What were you saying?
Oh, I just said the suspense.
Whoever's directing this is a master of suspense. Right. So Flint and Ren. Since Ren is currently AFK, we'll start with you, Flint. Flint, you are dreaming the most immaculate of dreams. You stand performing your new ballad for a crowd to see. You've created a lute that sounds far greater than the sum of its parts. It seems to be electric in its performance as those around you bang on huge drums. The reverberation of what you're doing, this is not just a rock performance, this is a rock concert, and there is a crowd here to witness your heavy metal music as you play a huge loud strum beginning to start your concert. As you do so, the cheers overtake you as everyone says, "Flint, Flint, 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 Flint." You cannot help but feel that your dream truly has finally come true. You run to the stage and you do nothing but fall backwards into a crowd of your awaiting fans. As you literally crowd surf, you feel the waves of the arms pushing you and carrying you forward. This is all you've ever dreamed. People to love your music and love you for playing it. You're a smart guy. You're a wizard. You know that this is a dream, but you're not going to stop it right now. You know you'll reach this dream one day. You just love the feeling of these hands moving you forward. The feeling of these hands moving you... The feeling of these hands moving you forward, carrying you, lifting you. Hold on, as you are suddenly jetted awake by a pair of very strong hands, throwing you against the side of the wall in the room. Ren, you weren't having quite such a nice dream. Your sleep was just that. It was just nice. A deep sleep, one that you just fall asleep and suddenly you are awake the next day feeling refreshed. However, both of you are slammed against the side of your bed walls as you're suddenly awoken to a cacophony of men here within the room. There are two men currently pushing Flint up against the wall. As Flint, with this rough spun throw against the wall, you take 1 point of bludgeoning damage. As you feel the heavy grips of a Triton's hand shoving you up against the wall. Nearby him, a human male cracking their thumb, trying to intimidate as you're suddenly jolted awake. Ren, you are also shoved up against the wall there as you are a dwarf by another dwarf of equal mass and weight to you as you are jolted awake. You take 5 points of bludgeoning damage. At this point, you have not had your rest as they jet you awake. You recognize these men to be pushing you against the wall, and you see the satyr standing with the closed door behind, locking the door as he looks at you and says, "What? Do you take me for a fool, TD? No. You have not infiltrated us before, and you will not infiltrate us today. Give him one." As the Triton man clocks his hand back and drives his fist heavy into Flint's nose, as does the dwarf into yours, Ren. Dealing 2 damage to Ren and 4 damage into Flint. As they hold you by the necks up against the wall, the satyr says, "Now, look, you could have just paid. You could have just been here. I wouldn't have known it. Why do you have to try and flash magic in front of me? I'm a satyr. What are you, an idiot?" Truly, they hire dumber and dumber thieves every day. Get out of my inn.
Flint, what in the fuck did you do?
Flint's gonna cough out a bit of blood. I'm nothing, man. I just, you know how it is in the rock lifestyle. You just, he's gonna like try and like jolt him off. You just gotta take it easy.
If you want to try and roll an opposed strength check to get out, you totally can.
Yeah.
Or are you just kind of generally struggling?
It's actually just general struggle.
Okay, then you don't have to.
As one would if they were forced onto a wall. You kind of just.
Totally. Then yeah, you kind of resist his pressing against you on the wall, but he just has you on the throat, and you're not really sure that there's much that you can do here. Ren, you were about to say.
I have somewhere in here a list of spells you have given me before. I'm trying to find them, but until I find them, what I'm gonna do is look at our satyr friend and say, look, we're not TD. I can affirm that. This idiot here, I thought that he was a member, and clearly he's not. Flint, apologize to the man and give him money.
Roll a deception.
I mean, okay.
Did you think that Flint was a member? You've known him before. Or are you trying to lie your way out?
I would have assumed that if Flint's gonna flash a thing that he isn't, like, he wouldn't be stupid enough to lie to the Red Wagon Inn.
Also,
no, go ahead.
Question. So Flint mentioned that he had a show there and someone named Rocco was meeting him. Like, did that happen? Did I miss that?
They went right to bed.
Okay. Sorry, my bad.
Nope, you're good.
So that's do you want me to do perception or persuasion, or do you want me to do deception?
If you truly believed it, then yeah, persuasion.
Yeah, no, I would have truly believed that he wouldn't have been that much of an idiot to lie to a Red Wagon Inn. So with that, that's going to be a 23.
23. The satyr looks over. Before he looks at Flint and then back to you, Ren. Before he walks over, standing in front of you, near the human male and the Triton with the fist. The satyr does not look to be a fighter. He is very thin and skinny, but these other three definitely do. As he looks you up and down, it says, I believe that you are, in fact, an idiot. But is that true? That he had no knowledge?
I mean, you know how things are. Just trying to get. Wait a second. What was your name again?
Chat, what's his name?
Points to the satyr.
Forgot to ask that earlier. I just asked for a race. So, chat, what is the satyr innkeeper's name?
Chat, if you make it another song/singer duo, I swear to God.
I'm not doing. You already admitted words that's a pun, so it's not happening.
Finn.
Finn sounds all right for me.
Twig.
You mean Twin Twig?
It beat me by half a second.
Yep.
So Finn, it is. So you ask what's your name? He says, Finn, and yours.
Flint. I was supposed to play a show here, wasn't I?
Jesus Christ.
My manager Rocco. I'm still being held. That's why my arms are up. Rocco came here to set everything up.
Jesus.
Didn't I mention that last night?
Half a step back.
All right.
No, you're totally good.
Quiet. I'm trying to get. Okay.
No, you're good. You're good to be more for it, but just right on it. What's the other?
Yeah, it's the downside of the USB mic. There is no in between of too far and too close.
Yeah, no worries.
There's no middle ground.
It was totally good.
It is the Dooku mic.
Dooku. Sorry, continue.
Didn't you speak to Rocco? he had a letter from me.
I did speak to Rocco. He even gave me a taste of his music. It does not surprise me that you know Rocco. Now, on to that, why did you try to fake being a member?
Because he's a fucking idiot.
He kind of points a thumb back and he's like, that's true, as the Triton is going to punch you in the gut. So you're going to take another 2 bludgeoning damage? Says, that's quite true. You recognize how stupid that was, right?
I do now.
Good. Now, this here, these are just 3 people I found down in the inn. This isn't even my crew. Thank you. As the satyr kind of nods, the 3 of them let go of your throats and begin walking out the door, leaving the satyr here alone with the 2 of you, and says, don't do that again. If you're going to meet Rocco, just meet Rocco. It's not that hard. We don't even charge that much here. It's truly not very difficult. You even had a member. We would have given you a discount.
Flint's gonna go still coughing, face towards the floor. He's gonna kind of look up and lesson learned, man. Ugh. I'm just gonna kind of
speaking of other member, you didn't rough up the other ones because he's like actually a member.
Oh, I already spoke to them. He is actually a member. They had no knowledge. I wouldn't let him leave the room until I talked to you personally. They seem to have the same story as you, which is the only reason, I'm letting you out of here, by the way, I would not have listened at all before. But you're lucky you have nice friends. The cleric that's with you was particularly nice, though I cannot say for the brains of the Dragonborn.
No, he's an idiot too.
Roll a perception.
He's a lovable idiot, but he's an idiot nonetheless. Oh, nice. That's a 21.
These are thick walls. They're quality. You're not going to hear any conversations through the other end unless you're actively looking, but you do hear a boom, boom, pounding on the other wall, as if somebody might have been listening to your conversation.
That's fine. That's why I said he's a lovable idiot, but an idiot nonetheless.
That he is, as the satyr kind of kneels down and he condescendingly like puts his hand up to your cheek, Flint, and says, just don't do that again. And kind of like a mafia don who knows that like you don't have any power over me, kind of does the like hard slap on your face as a like, get my drift here, before he stands back up and says, I expect the gold for the room in the morning, gentlemen, before walking back
I'll
to the
give
door.
it to you right now. Wait, how much do you need?
10 gold. It would have been 2,
Take
but
it.
for my inconvenience.
I'm going to take out 15 gold and hand it.
See, hands it back in his hands.
For the inconvenience.
No inconvenience here. Have a great night's sleep, gentlemen. Before he closes the door behind, leaving you now in your beds with a little bit of blood soaked into Flint's pillow.
Flint, please don't do that again. I'm tired. I want some sleep. I don't like being woken up. I've been thrown against the wall and choked. It's rude. And I just want to sleep. I love you. Stop it.
Flint laying in the bed is just
Did you?
Chef Kiss. Perfect.
pretending like not admitting that he did something wrong and just ignoring the fact that he just caused trouble inconveniently. He's just gonna kind of cover his head and just fall asleep.
Before I go to sleep, I'm going to use message through the wall to Robert. I didn't mean what I said. You're very lovable and very smart.
You hear thuds, but they're softer. Boom, boom, boom.
And I go back to sleep,
Wonderful.
rubbing my throat like, God damn it.
The 2 of you, able to talk your way out of a possibly very, very bad situation, return to sleep. Or do you? I will let you tell me if there's anything that you're wanting to be doing.
No, I'm going straight back to sleep.
I didn't hear it. Did you say something?
Flint's snoring.
Oh, gotcha. Right.
And also, I'm glad that I could make Verity proud by not being a murder hobo.
There's still time. As we go back to Zinnia
Man.
and How. How
Okay, now I'll be right back.
you began walking over towards the right room with Zinnia to follow, correct? With your cat now out.
Yep. She's just gonna watch the main entrance.
Sounds good. As you all walk over to this room, roll me a perception check.
Both of us?
Guidance high five.
Both of you, yeah.
I'm also
Before you
going
walk
to,
in.
let's do this. And then, oh no, that wasn't a very good guidance roll. But I'm also gonna keep Otto close to me, right? Because
Yeah, Otto's out
It's
unless
still
you
out.
dismiss him.
like Otto, I'm not letting you leave my sight. You are staying right next to me, under my cloak, somewhere. I don't care. You're staying with me.
Of course, I wouldn't want to leave.
This is gonna be tiring for Howard to do the constant like translation between us two.
No, you're connected
No,
to him
yeah,
now.
yeah, you're
I don't
him
have
now.
to translate.
How is the one
Yeah,
who
because
doesn't
you're
understand?
bound to. Yeah, when that splitting of the smoke happened, you're bound to Otto now. You choose where he appears. You can make him disappear. Read Find Familiar because you can everything that Find Familiar says. You can look through Otto's eyes. Yeah, that's you now, girl. Yeah.
It changes things. But 12 plus perception, 18.
18. And what was yours, How?
Mine was 9 plus 1 and 3, so 13 total.
As you begin walking over here, Zinnia, though you were in drow form, you still retain your animalistic sense of smell. And when you do so, you begin to smell almost like sulfur as you head over to this right room. It is an open, no-door room here that seems to have an almost zigzag-like pattern, as if you're going through a couple hallways before you would go into the next area. Walking through there, the stone in here is much smoother, as if it has been wet for some time. You walk through here, there's maybe about 10-foot corridor before you turn a corner, go around another 10-foot corridor. This happens about 3 times. Before you get to a room that is completely dim. However, luckily, both of you can see, no problem. When you enter this room, there's a large pit in the ground with completely smooth stone, seeming to be ceramic in this rectangular-like fashion. The smell of sulfur is incredibly strong coming from this pit here. There are old benches that seems to have not been used for quite a long time. There's a pile of old towels in red and white colors here to the side, brushes that are covered in dust, and spider webs that mar the corners of this room, and another entryway seeming to be the same type that you just came through to get here. A big, open, rectangular, no-door kind of walkway.
Yeah, you smell that, How?
I don't have as keen a nose as you, but it doesn't smell great.
I don't know what that is. And I don't know. It just towels here. It doesn't look like this place is abandoned. Gonna keep on my toes.
I'm gonna plop down on the ground while Zinnia's gonna look around, and I'm gonna start ritual casting detect magic, just in case.
Okay, yeah, sounds good. It's going to take you about 10 minutes if you're in here and in this room, correct? Zinnia, while this is happening, what are you doing?
I'm gonna be like walking in a circle with my hands out, just ready to cast Sacred Flame at anything that like is suspicious whatsoever, but constantly moving around How.
The tips of your claws, your drow fingers, begin to glow a bright red as you hold and ready if anything comes out to immediately light it aflame with Nimbus's fury. There are 2 hallways, the one that you just came from, and now one heading to the top of the room here, with this kind of indented rectangle in the floor down here that's maybe about 5 feet deep, with a stairway that leads down into that small area where you smell the sulfur coming from. Roll ahead, or go ahead and roll me a perception as you're just waiting for if anything comes in or through here.
Yeah. Okay. 15 plus 6, 21.
21. You do hear a small chirping. You're not entirely sure what it is, but it's coming from the room to the top, that hallway that leads into the next area. From your ears and from the distance, it sounds to be almost like maybe a mouse or something, a tiny creature.
Gonna let How know, but also... And you said it's a hallway that leads to the top?
Yes,
Or a
basically
hallway
the same kind of entryway. You see that it immediately turns off. It's going to be another kind of jagged corridor. You're not sure how far or deep this one is, but it seems to lead in the similar manner to the way that you came in through here.
All right, I'm going to stare very suspiciously at that doorway, but I'm not going to leave How.
Okay. How you continue casting your ritual. Eventually, after about 10 minutes of Zinnia standing heavily on guard, especially after hearing something up that way, how you cast Detect Magic. And so your eyes, even behind your mask, begin to glow a bright purple flame as you look around. And as described before, you don't see anything of potent magics that are actively working their way into here. But you do see traces and hints marring the outside of this little rectangular area, seeming to be of conjuration magic, the immediate dust that you can kind of pull up with your fingers. This had been seeing quite a large amount of conjuration for a long time, but has since laid dormant for ages. Go ahead and roll me another perception while you're detecting.
Ooh, okay. Guidance high five. I don't think it matters.
What is
this time with
Stop.
time with the jade ivory.
I hate it.
Come on, focus.
Is that a 20?
Show it.
Oh my god.
That's a 20. 23.
As this is like looking at a pool of glowing energy. This energy in itself is this tealish color, seeming to mar around the bottom of this rectangular almost pool. Looking around, you even see some traces of it on the wall, some on the floor leading into the room to the top of where you're at, that hallway that you have yet to explore. Looking in the air around you, seeming to almost look through the walls, back towards the temple part where there's church and pews and stuff, you see in the air around the top of the temple magic of a black nature, dark, necrotic.
Is it familiar? Oh, wait, I don't see it. Never mind.
We need to leave.
Why?
Just follow me and walk slowly.
And how I'm going to use minor illusion so Zinnia can now see. And I'm basically going to outline everything that's glowing for me with minor illusion so she can see now what I see.
A quick wave of his hand. Suddenly the pool in front of you glows a bright teal.
I mean, it's just a mouse. Oh, okay. I don't think a mouse could do all of this. Okay. Hands still out, ready to cast Sacred Flame, but now walking backwards.
Are you both
Outta here.
attempting to leave the room? Also, hey Raid, how's it going? As you walk backwards, almost as if a weapon drawn, but Sacred Flame at the ready.
I think so, because I think this is something we can't tackle just us two. So, yeah.
Okay. You both slowly begin to back out of the doorway in which you came. Now moving your way through this hall back towards the temple, where you're greeted with those same almost star-like features on the ceiling. How you still have Detect Magic up and going as you look up at the ceiling. That seems to be a real source of necromantic energy, marring and floating at the top of this temple here.
Interesting.
What are we doing?
I'm gonna snap, and my little friend, the eyes are gonna appear on the back of my hood. And I think we should head out. We should find, even if we're getting a little sleepy, we should find another place to rest.
I don't think we should sleep here tonight.
All right. So weird. Why would you want to use a mouse as a distraction? Or I don't know. This is weird. Yeah, Kern's weird. Kern is so weird. How is this the best city in the world? I don't get it. It's just weird. Oh,
Sometimes others have familiars too. Could have been the mouse you heard with someone watching you.
oh. Well then, let's get out of here. Huh? Faster.
As you both kind of say, okay, let's get out of here, you turn and look towards the doorway in which you came. The door is closed.
Saw that coming.
The heavy door that you would not have even attempted to try and lift up to be able to fix the hinge that was broken upon your moving it is closed behind you.
Maybe it's
Alright.
like door. Maybe just touch it. I'm gonna touch it and try to push.
You put your hands on it. The door itself seems to be sturdy. You gonna try and push it?
Not budging. Yeah.
Okay. You go to jiggle the handle to pick it up and kind of shove it forward. You hear the loud moans and creaks of the door. What you heard before echoed seemingly 10 times inside this hollowed out, empty temple. But the door pulls open inward. As you look out, you see the city street. It is maybe about 50 feet before you see other people, as this is that alleyway that led to this temple. But you see the street. You're looking out kind of the side of it at this point.
How? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah.
As the two of you head on out the door, when you begin walking out, you're immediately startled as you run into another person. A man in a long black cloak says, "What are you doing here?"
What are we? What do you mean? Just visiting Suni. What does it look like we're doing?
You visit a church that has long since been dead and abandoned? Maybe you have not heard. Suni no longer here. This man stands with a long, tall, chiseled face, skinny and pulled back with long red hair seeming to be slick and wet. His cloak and robe marred down with a brilliant elegance, seeming to be very, very fancy clothes that cover his feet onto the ground as he looks at you. His eyes a piercing midnight black, like a shark's, as he stares at you. He says,
Am I getting magic read still? Because I still got that going.
let's see.
10 minutes. Hi, Loki.
Where the top of the temple itself seemed to be clouded.
No, this guy.
No. Where the top of the temple
Oh,
itself
God.
seemed to be clouded in necromantic energy, this man beams pure blackness, seeming to flow off of him like tendrils in the night.
How
Loki,
isn't
you
going to
get your
point this out to
inspo.
Zinnia just yet? Because, you know, that's something horrifying to say.
As he says,
We
"Well, if
went
you are
in.
here for Suni, maybe perhaps I could show you. I've been working to restore this temple for some time. Come. I see you have already let yourself in. No one owns this anymore. That is not a crime."
We more so were looking for a place to rest as a...
"Oh,
You
then
know.
please." And he begins kind of walking in towards the door. "You find no place more peaceful in the entire city. I will... Please. There are cots in this temple that I have been using. Friends that come stay and help me work on the architecture. I'm very, very pleased to allow you to stay here. If that is what you're looking for, room and board, we have room, but you shall not be bored."
Insight. I
Mhm.
love this guy, but insight.
Absolutely.
I know
Give-
you said. I know you
give
said
away.
cots, but it just sounded like you said cults, and we kind of already had interaction with a cult in another city, and I'm just a little scarred, a little, not trustworthy of tall, dark
Oh,
strangers.
I'm sorry I'm not from here, and I can understand your hesitance for my appearance. My mother always used to hit me to try and align my face into a more better form. She did not like my appearance either, but I assure you, cot is what I meant, not cult. As how? Go ahead and roll. What was your insight?
My insight total was 14.
2 seconds.
Unguided.
My mom also used to pinch my snout to try to make it like longer,
Ah,
as well.
some
I mean,
mothers.
nose. Did I say snout? I meant nose. I don't know why I said snout. I'm a trow. Why would I say snout?
Some mothers are never accepting of the gods' beautiful children that they give for them. How truly he seems to think he's pretty funny.
Okay.
He says, but you will not be
Look.
bored.
I'm gonna be completely and entirely upfront. Magic eyes, necromancy aura. Give me something to work with, buddy. You gotta explain this because I smell it on you. And to be frank, I'm not being judgmental, but someone invites me into his house that has dark magic on him. Scary magic for most.
I understand. I am not from these lands, and I, to drow, handsome as the two of you are, would understand the sunlight. It bothers me. As such, I cloud my new lodgings in darkness. I am happy to explain what I am, what I do, and why I live in such a decrepit lodging. Please, I would invite you in, and happy to share. I have nothing but desire for guests.
I looked to Zania because Zania's gonna make the decision on this. Because Jakey knows what's happening, and yup.
I'm sorry, my friend said necrotic, and you act like this is okay.
I do not think that it is okay, but I think that your land does not quite understand the way that mine would. Less forgiving here in Kern, and therefore I live in secret.
While we were
forgiving of-
talking, sorry,
Oh,
go.
yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say less forgiving of what?
Forgiving of necrotic energies and beings such as myself. I see that you are not trusting, which is why your eyes glow such a bright, brilliant purple behind that wood that you have. I have been nothing but forefront and upfront with you. I did not try and lie, tell you that I am not what I am. I am just myself.
While this is all happening, I'm going to telepathically tell Otto, like, hey, buddy, hey, pal, hey, buddy, hey, pal, can you just scurry away from my cape? Just, like, run, and, like, I'll chase after you. But, like, just pretend that you're, like, running away so you give us an excuse to get out of the situation. Okay, Otto, please.
Oh, of course. I'm happy to run off. No worries.
Before Ada runs off and out the door, he says, "Oh, truly you understand then. You have...
Oh,
I have pet very similar.
Otto, oh no, come back. Why
Allow
are you
me."
running?
As he
Nope.
reaches his hand out, and Ada begins to float, seemingly against his winged will, before he
What?
brings Ata back and kind of slams it into your chest. He says, "Obviously, we are on similar wavelengths with your pet. Very cute. What is his name?" As he tries to like scratch under Ada's chin before Ada tries its best to get away.
His name is Kermit.
Kermit. That sounds like somebody might tell you to go fuck yourself, Zinnia.
I don't want him knowing
Fair
Otto's
enough.
real name. I don't want Draco Jabway.
What did Jacob say? Jifa, yeah.
Well, as great as all of this seems, and wow, you seem like quite the host.
Thank you. Now, come, we must eat. It's been a long day. For me, at least. I haven't been out of my house in ages, and I wish to make company. If you wish for a place to stay, you'll find no bed more hospitable.
Again, I'm gonna leave it up to Zinnia.
I'm just holding Otto, and I'm kind of terrified now because, like, what did you do to my son? Stay away from me and my son. Don't talk to us ever again.
Can I pause real quick? Because the auto moderator for what Silent Trash said, she said, it sounds like someone needs to pack themselves a nice sack lunch and make like horse turds and hit the trail. The auto mod stopped nice sack. It was like, are you sure you want to allow this?
Pops in chat, nice sack, bro.
Nice
Sorry.
sack.
Makes me think of the Shadow the Hedgehog meme.
Nice
Right.
sack.
Come, what do you eat? Your people drow. I understand. Mushrooms and the like. I have many.
It's just how isn't he just
He just goes.
He begins to be a little bit more insistent, like an older gentleman, as he kind of come, and kind of like pushes you in towards behind the door.
So here's the thing where I'm struggling. Because of the highlighted thing, Chatter has said it. So can I put a name to this now that it's been said through the whispers?
They said the grave welcomes all, correct?
No, something earlier. They said the V word, and I don't mean voluptuous.
I'll let you roll a history to see if you know what that is.
Okay.
That's definitely been passed along in legends. I would say since it's a spur of the moment memory thing, probably not.
That's fair. I think I only have +1. Only +1. It's 16?
16. Vampires are talked about often in legend. You know the telltale signs of a vampire. You need to see his teeth to know for sure. As he talks, you can always attempt to roll a perception.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to look at this dude's mouth.
As he gets closer to both of you and begins ushering you into the temple, Bobo GFY, kiss him to be sure. That was great. No, legitimately good. Actually, you know what? No GFY. That's an inspo to Bobo. That was good.
why? Bobo, why did Automod stop that?
Kiss him. No, kiss. Right. So as he's ushering you in, yeah, go ahead and roll a perception.
Yeah. Will I be informed of this at all, or is this just happen in your brain?
Until Hal has said anything.
Or telepathically said anything?
Hey, oh yeah, can you use sending? Yeah, I'm gonna say sending is a thing.
So let's roll for your perception first.
My perception was 14 total.
Huh. Okay. He's not very much a teeth talker. You know, there's some people that talk like this. He's not that guy. That's very nice. As he ushers you in further. Being if you want to send something to Zinnia now, talking, even in of the mind, takes time as he is ushering you in. Not forcefully, but strong-willedly into the temple, pushing you at this point.
Zinnia, are we staying? I say out loud.
No, and at the same time, is he touching us? Is he like his hands?
Yeah, he's
are on our
currently
shoulders?
hands like on the lower of your back, like pushing you in.
I cast remove curse for some reason, just to see if that would help his vampireness at all.
He dies because he was undead and there is no more curse. So go ahead and cast remove curse.
Okay, it's done.
Okay. So being that you do not try and hide this, describe how you cast remove curse.
It's just
Openly and just
yeah, it just like I tuck Otto back in my coat and I'm just doing the hand signals and I'm just letting the magic flow through my back into his hand.
As,
One division.
yeah, you rush back, do the whoosh, and throw a puff of magical red energy at him as it whoosh, passes through him. You see his cape and his robes lift and flow backwards in behind the doorframe as he looks at you and says, "That was not very nice," as he closes the door behind him. Whatever did you do that for? I have been nothing but upfront with you.
I misunderstood. I don't know why we were still like right by the door and we still had an opportunity. I don't know why I misunderstood
No,
that.
sure, to get us back in. We went out into the alleyway, did we not?
Yeah, we
He
did.
like bumped into you like right when you're like leaving the door. And so you're having this conversation like in the doorway.
Oh, okay. The second he goes to touch the door, I'm grabbing Zinnia's arm and I'm casting Thunderstep behind this guy. Can he roll a con save?
Can he roll a con save? Okay.
Yeah, because it's anyone who touches.
Yeah, absolutely. You he pushes you in towards the door. He goes to grab the door and he's like, "What did you do that for?" As he hits the door, you shoot 90 feet. So the pathway is 50 feet off and over towards the middle of there. So you about 60 feet back, and you see the older man fall and slam his back and head into the floor as you hear him cry, "Ah!" down in near the doorway there.
I just pushed over the couch. Ah!
What are you doing?
Blah, blah, blah.
I grab Zinnia's arm and we run.
Wait, so you moved Zinnia, not him, correct?
Yeah, no, like he
Okay.
takes a con save because it explodes.
Yeah,
but
making
like
sure.
Zinnia and I teleport back.
Lucidal Mom said you should have thunderstepped him into the sunlight. So I was like, wait, did he do that? Just double checking. It is currently nighttime, so yeah. As you and he
Wait,
was
how did you
outside
pronounce
anyway.
that? How did you
Lucidal
pronounce
Mom?
that name, Ribo?
Is that not it? Lucidal
You
Mom?
mean Lucid Lemon?
Is that what it is?
Why?
Come on.
Lucidal Mom. That's what I thought it was. I thought you were a Digimon.
Oh, actually, that's actually pretty good. Luck
I like
Idolmon. Yeah, sorry.
Sorry,
Right.
Lucidalmon, but that's your new name.
Lucidal Mom. You hear him fall to the ground, hit his head. As you hit, and you're in the middle of the crowd. You see horses and buggies going every which way. What are you doing?
Running.
Towards the center of town, or back kind of the way that you came? You're maybe about 500 feet off from the center of town.
Let's go to the center. You know what? I'm gonna, cause you know what? Well, no time like the present. I'm gonna, now that we're in like the alleyway, like proper, and I can see, I'm gonna another 90 feet. We're gonna bounce again.
So, being that you're in the middle of this walkway, this is where a lot of people come and go through. If you do that, you may hurt some people around you.
Oh, there's like people coming through in like the
You're
dark.
on the main road now that goes north and south, where you were traveling from before. You poofed into the main road. The alleyway was empty that led up to the temple, but you're in the main road that intersects it now, that leads towards the fountain.
I cast fog cloud.
cast.
I cast down the alley. I cast.
Oh, then we run.
Yes, I call.
You cast it like on the temple so that he can't see, or on yourself?
On kind of halfway in between. So
Okay.
like it's
Great, like a
just-
wall
yeah.
of. As Zinnia quickly touches the ground, dust begins to begin to levitate nearby, blocking off the alleyway. People that saw you teleport see you rush through with the loud and crack of thunder as the dust now covers the entire of the alleyway, blocking the view to the temple. As the two of you are running towards the center or towards the north?
Yeah.
Center. Okay, just booking it. Okay. You rush at full speed. You hear several people kind of like, "What's going on? What's going on?" before you just lose their voices immediately with how fast you're running. Heading further towards the north, you are running very, very quickly. As you get over towards the center, you hear lots of people kind of yelling and murmuring about. You see two guards on the corner of this, what would be the end of this alleyway, with halberds. One, a Goliath-looking man standing tall over the crowd, and one, a small halfling man trying to get the best view that he can, both with halberds nearly of equal length. As the are trying to look there, they see you running. The little gnomish man says, "Hey, what did you see?"
There was someone who was very forthright, unnecessary touching and stuff. He just wanted to get my friend and I out of there. It was a whole thing. He was trying to grab us. It was just, like that was just that was a whole thing.
A really touchy vampire, actually. He had like fangs and everything.
A vampire?
Yeah, at the shrine.
And
The
touching of people?
He tried
There'll be no
touching
unnecessary touching of people on our watch. Bill, come here. As the large Goliath.
Bill!
Who's been touching
At this
people?
meeting.
Thank God for Fantasy Bill.
Says, Bill, over there. They said that there's a vampire done doing some touching on these drow. And Bill's like, oh, we shouldn't have none of that. He says, I think so. And vampire, you said, right?
Right, at the Sunni shrine. Mhm.
The little gnome, you see him kind of flex, and as he moves his hands behind his chain shirt, you see large muscles. As he breaks his halberd over, creating two little wooden spikes at the end of his halberd. He goes, I know how me to deal with them vampires. As he, Bill, come on! As they go rushing off down to the south. As he kind of quickly stops and says, where did you see him?
The Shrine of Sunni in that alleyway.
Sunni. Let's get him, Bill! As they go rushing off, this small gnomish figure with two wooden stakes. Bill quickly, boom, 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 Goliath outpacing this small little gnome here. He's like, wait, Bill, hold on! As they go rushing down the southern alley towards the temple. You now see...
Drop fog cloud.
Oh, you cause it to fade and disappear. You now see what was described before to Ren and Flint, a large fountain in the center of all of these beautiful houses. Roll me a perception, as you're now in this area.
High five.
Guys, high five.
Jakey, I'm going to put you in timeout.
Honestly,
He
put me in
has
timeout.
GFYs.
17.
This is not what I want to
Yeah,
use
that's
them
true.
for.
Because 17 plus the 2 from guidance, and then plus 3 from perception.
What was it?
22.
Zinnia, what was
15.
yours? 15? Okay. As you're looking around, it's not very hard to spot here, Zinnia. The Red Wagon Inn is actually the building that you're right next to because you came from the north side. It's a 3-story building. You see the classic sign that you can see it right down there. As you see that sign hanging off of the building, how you're looking around for a bit, you see the building before you're like, that can't be it. That's not my luck. Before you keep looking around, okay, I guess that was it. As you are right next to the building that you're looking for.
Oh, thank God. All right. Is there windows facing the alleyway of the shrine from the Red Wagon Inn?
That's about 500 feet off. So the Red Wagon Inn would be very obscured by taller buildings that create that small little kind of cove-like alley where the temple sits.
Oh, right. I will just... Okay, nothing. I just wanted a window to watch whatever went down, but there's no... I can't do that.
There's a window
how?
that leads to where you could see the large northern path to see if anybody does come run back this way.
How I plan to request that room right there.
That checks. I feel like this is something we just keep to ourselves for a bit. Because that was... Why would some old dude just cover himself in necromancy and stuff, right? Like, that was... like, we're just walking in, and now it's just like, I would like something to drink before we go to bed. Because I would... Yep, that was...
Yeah.
Wow.
It will take some processing, I think, for this. Yeah.
Wow.
To the bar. 2, please. And I flash the pin.
You see the satyr behind the bar. He says, remember, huh? Okay. As he quickly sets out 2 large wine glasses and pours from a pitcher and says, with her, I assume, couple, before he slides 2 full white wine glasses in front of you. Being you're both drows.
Thank you. Anything for your little muffin in your... And I point to your hood.
What?
The...
Good.
Oh, he how like kind of smiles behind his mask, and he's gonna like stick his finger in to like see if they're awake still, and
Like a cat does sometimes, it quickly bites your finger.
Yeah, that checks. As he feels that, yeah, just like a small y'all got salted fish or anything?
Of course. And I don't truly know. Forgive me for not being up on my unwilling. I should be. We're right, right next to Korokruja. Oh, does that eat? He points to Otto.
Otto, are you in the mood right now?
Otto growls at him angrily.
He said, "No, I'm fine. I don't eat."
I know he's good. He
sounds like
feasts
it.
on vibes. Vibes.
Did you say he feasts on vibes? Because you know what you earned.
A high five?
Damn.
Zania, you're at
Jakey
6.
going for 10.
I just couldn't help it. Man, Otto just
If you
won't
get
stop
to
barking
10
in the
and I don't
background.
use them, right? Do I get to pick somebody who dies?
Yeah.
I mean, someone in my backstory or like someone.
I don't know.
Oh
Any
no,
one
you
of
guys.
your
Don't
choosing,
negotiate.
Thanks, Drew.
We don't
I'm good with
negotiate with Dungeon Master.
it.
Oh no. Oh no.
You both get your glass of wine before he does go to the back before pulling out a very immaculate pewter platter with a bit of salted Sebring onto it and sets it out. Says, "I don't know how much he eats, but I hope that he eats his fill." Slides it over. I'm a cat man myself.
He smiles and yeah, he just like kind of lifts it there again. Like he does that thing where there's a pause. There's like the sound of like gentle like tip tip tip, and How just like winces a little bit. And it's just like she loves it. It just like looks over his shoulder like he's like a square. Yeah, there's the odd time he's just gonna like put stuff on his shoulder and just like keep doing that while sipping.
Are you going to be needing a room?
Yeah. Actually, Howard, do you want a bed, or do you want to be in your hammock tonight? Should we even get separate rooms?
Yeah, I'll hammock it. Oh, ooh. I did 4 individuals show up earlier. We got the big dragonborn, can't miss him, and a guy with a mohawk. Those are the most prominent members. It's very visual.
His expression suddenly sours tremendously.
So they're here. Thank you.
I remember the dragonborn. I don't recall the descriptor of the mohawk. I only remember a black dragonborn that seemed to match your description perfectly. He may have...
The black dragonborn came with 3 others, a feathered woman and
The feathered woman, yes, but neither of the other 2 that you described.
Oh, okay. By the judging of your expression, I'm just gonna ask, and you just answer like honestly, how much for damages?
Probably for all that they've done, I'd say about 15 gold.
God damn it.
Hal's not gonna think he's lying, and Hal's gonna just put like 15 gold down.
You know what? He looks at you and says, "You only know the dragonborn and the feathered woman?"
I will. Full disclosure, I do know 2 others, but if they're not here, it happens.
Then we'll call it fine. As he slides the coins back over to you, says, "It's the other 2 that they're with that give me a headache and have done the damages. But enjoy your stay here. Is there a room that I can accommodate you with?"
Yeah, we'll take one.
Ooh, the one above the alley. There was some
Right.
funny yelling and shouting, and we're drow. We stay up late.
Faces the
course.
north alley.
So he reaches under, hands you a key, tosses it over to Zania for... Just let me know if you need anything. Dinner is promptly when the sun rises. You'll be pleased to know that you can see the sun here, though you are drow, so you may be displeased. Have a good night.
I do hate that.
Well,
Oh,
you don't have to leave the room.
do you guys do... Fair.
He kind of smiles.
Sorry if I'm being too... Is there somewhere nearby or here I could do some laundry and stuff? I haven't in a hot minute. Also a bath. Ooh, I would love a bath.
We do keep a running bath back in the back, if you'd like.
Nice. Appreciate it.
How and Zania, is there anything you're wanting to be doing tonight besides generally keeping a watch over the alleyway and how taking a bath, freshening up?
Yeah, I think Hal it's more so because like with prestidigitation, he can do magical cleaning and stuff. But I think Hal just wants to kind of like soak for a bit while he starts transcribing. Tiny hut, tiny hut.
You finally have it. As you're gonna have to take some time, but you are a drow, so luckily you have time. What level spell is Tiny Hut again?
I believe it's third.
Third.
Yep, third level.
It is going to take you 6 hours to do so. So it'll be 4 hours tonight, and you'll have to spend another 2 hours if you take your full rest of 4 hours.
You know what? I'll do the 6 hours in a binge, and then I will do like I'll just sleep in an extra 2 hours.
Okay.
And I'll let Zinnia know that I'm doing this.
Okay. Zinnia, anything you're doing?
Zinnia will probably retreat to the room, stare at the window, and then just talk Otto's ears off already. They are off about what he missed, what he's seen maybe in another plane. Just probably just stay up and yet to talk to him again.
Zinnia, like seeing an old friend, it's almost as invigorating as a rest as you sit here and speak to your friend as he's like,
Oh, well, you would not believe what the celestial realm is like. It is, oh my God.
as he begins telling you about everything that he's seen. Mostly just he's like,
There's lots of clouds. It was a shock. But, I've been there before the first time I died.
as you kind of talk back and forth, you talk about what's been going on since and kind of fill Otto in on everything. And she's like,
Oh, poor Summer.
and just kind of generally talk through the night before, like, two friends who eventually just get so exhausted, both of you pass out on the bed just from having a good talk with an old friend. Eventually, morning comes round. Ren and Flint, you wake up. Ren, you have a bit of a bruise on your neck that is easily changed and faded away. Flint, however, your nose, you kind of instinctually, as you were asleep, tucked some of the blanket up in to stop the bleeding at one point. So when you wake up, there's 2 large circles of blood on the bed sheets, and you can feel the dried blood up in your nose. It's going to be just harder to breathe, but you've had a rest, so you both have recovered from your point of exhaustion.
Oh. What's wrong with you? Oh, wait, I know.
Man, I had this awesome dream, man. I was about to play Wonderwall for everybody, and then just got kicked Wonder Stonewall. Like it. Ugh. He's gonna do prestidigitatus on like the prestidigitatus on the sheets.
Prestidigitation.
Blood off. That's the one.
I would like to use my my telekinetic ability and take my invisible mage hand and shove his face into the pillow before I leave the room.
Flint, you are very aware that you got a GFY. I don't even need to say it, but you know you got it. And a point of inspo if you didn't have one for the great roleplay. It's so method.
That's 3 inspos, but I'm only holding on to 1.
Thank you. As he shoves your head into the pillow, but it's more like a quick, like almost like dunking in water as you just poof. Like, where'd I go just now? As Ren stands up. What are the 2 of you doing this morning?
I wonder if they've made it to Marcus's.
I hope so. That man sure can cook. Speaking of which, and then you're just gonna hear like from Flint's belly. It's like, I need to eat some grub, man. And he's gonna get up, and then he's gonna like. I said he's wearing his tie from his disguise, and he's gonna uncast that, aka just take it off and put it in the bag.
I cast disguise self. Put on a tie.
Look,
no
Superman did
whatsoever.
it. Superman can do it. So can Flint.
We should get the others and see if they want to get some breakfast.
You know, they're probably gonna spit in your food, right?
I've had worse, man. And he's gonna.
Right.
As Flint and Ren walk out their room, you go over to the door next, or the nearby room, which you know to be Robert's after the knocking. When you knock on it, it kind of just opens up on its own. And Robert and Celine are nowhere to be seen. Both of their beds made, and so must not be in this room.
Is we downstairs already? Oh, let's go.
Both of you head on down as you see Robert and Celine sipping on a nice glass of warm coffee for the morning, trying to start their day after such a long walk. You all had a good night rest, but you can see they must have just got here as the coffee is still steaming off from where they are, and Robert's kind of stretching his back there as Celine takes a big sip and has a big smile on her face. Hey, Flint. Robert says, "You? Why? I was having the nicest dream."
Tell me about it. Me too. At least you didn't get choked.
Flint, what did you say?
Were you dreaming of a rock concert too, man? And he's gonna like imitate.
As you say, "Were you dreaming of a rock concert too, man?" You see, or hear, a man off in the corner who says, "I know I was," before you look off to the corner, and a man with long, shaggy, unkempt blonde hair sits with a lute up on the chair. He pulls down his sunglasses as you pull down your sunglasses, as you recognize Rocco as the best description I can give him is Kurt Cobain with a big cut-off plaid shirt, mimicking something that Flint might wear, a vest of plaid. He says, "My brother, how's it going?"
My man, Rocco! And he's gonna walk up, and they're gonna do an awesome handshake.
As then you both hit foreheads and, "Yeah, man, it's been so long."
Man, I got here and they asked me if I was a member, and I thought I showed them my backstage, pass, my VIP, and they got all upset. I told them I was coming, man.
I get that, man. I tried to do that down at the Blue Hog. They were not having it. I tell you what. And he points. He pulls down his pants, and you can see a big bruise on his right butt cheek because they did not appreciate the rock. Let me tell you, brother. But you're here now.
Pigsty, man.
Oh man. I get as you both like bump heads to each other. As Robert looks to you, Ren, and over to Selena. "I assume this is Rocco then."
I need booze.
As you, the one and only. "Exactly right, my man. How's it going?" As he goes over and tries to give Robert the handshake, but Robert's hand kind of sits there limp, like the cool dude who's trying to be cool and shake hands with a father on a date that's just not having it. As Rocco looks over to you and is like, "Now, I came here to set up early for our show. I thought we would do it at dinner, but man," as he pulls it, he's like, "Look at these. They're so dark. I thought it was night out." we can start the show early if you like."
Classic Rocco, but I got something I gotta take care of first, man.
"Oh man, I can see it in the nose, man. What'd you trip and fall and do, man?"
My own pillow, apparently.
"Oh shit, man, your pillow's hard." "You need to get a new pillow, brother."
Classic Rocco.
Classic.
He's gonna order a Kern breakfast special.
As you go over and say like, "One Kern breakfast special," the bartender, same satyr from the night before, says, "That'll be 5 gold."
He's gonna gladly take out the 5 gold and put it on the table.
Picks it up.
"Thank you, sir."
Coming right up, as a few other people say, I'll have what he's having, Robert says. And he says, coming right up. Doesn't ask for gold. Celine just asks for just a few muffins would be great. Rocco says, I already got mine back at the chair. I'll just bring it up. He goes over, and he's got just this small little thing of porridge that seems to have just a bunch of sugar and stuff, almost like brown sugar oatmeal that he just brings over and sets down on the table. Celine says, okay. Hello, Rocco. Very nice to meet you. He says, very nice to meet you, ma'am. Beautiful as ever. I love the feathers. Thought about doing them myself. First, well, you can't. Yes, nice to meet you. And you? Well, it's all natural, baby. How's it going? Nice to meet you. As he looks to Ren.
I'm gonna pat him on the shoulder and go up to the bar and order a nice shot of whiskey.
Okay. As you head on up, one whiskey, please. The bartender's like, that'll be 5 gold.
For a whiskey.
Very good
Shot.
whiskey.
Not the bottle. Yeah, I think you might have misunderstood just a wee bit. I'm just looking for a shot.
He looks you up and down, then back over at Flint. 1 gold.
Fuck. Toss 2 gold.
He reaches under, does not go for the shelf behind him, and gets a small little stein, pours out a shot overflowing, at least very generous with it, before he slides it your way and says, I'm to get your friend's food, and walks on over to the back to grab the food. Roll me a con save.
There we
I
go.
was about to say, you look like a dwarf, but Ren's a lightweight. That reaction, Ren is a lightweight.
It's a 5.
Your head.
Wait, hold on. Did I do that wrong? Hold on. No, I'm sorry. It's an 8.
Oh, well.
I have a +5.
Okay.
I apologize.
You have a +5 to con?
Con saves, yeah.
Oh, okay. I forgot sorcerers get con saves. Okay. As you... You've never tasted the taste of cinnamon with your whiskey? It is hot in your mouth. Hot as it goes down. This... You know what? You kind of like it. But you don't get to restrain yourself from looking like it's your first time.
Oh, no. I'm going to also spit it out as well. That... Like, Drew hates Fireball. I would spit that out.
You spit it out. You hear some laughter from a woman nearby at the bar. She
He poured me a thing of piss. And I'm going to clean it with prestidigitation.
You clear up the whiskey on the ground and the glass. Do you wait for a different drink?
No. Just kind of fuck off.
He runs back to the table. As y'all are kind of talking, getting reacquainted with each other, the satyr comes back over, kind of hopping along with his hooves as he goes. You can hear him coming as he steps on the smooth stone floor. As he walks over, he brings over a tray of the Kern special breakfast. As he sets it down, what is a Kern special if not something from everywhere? There is a pineapple on the inside with what seems to be like some sort of jello or pudding. You're not entirely sure. It's translucent. It's probably pretty good. There are several rolls smattered in a red-eye gravy right next to a large amount of bacon on the side, and one entire half of a blood orange next to a piping hot coffee.
Flint's a happy boy. He's gonna grab the... Anybody bite? He's looking at
I'm going to take the pineapple.
So Ren reaches over and adds the pineapple. Robert says, I think I'm good. Just some coffee. My stomach hasn't been settling well with me. Celine's, I'm good. I'm just going to get the muffins. And she kind of chows down on a few small little bits of blueberry and strawberry muffins at the table. Baraka says, look, man, I got places to be later. So, we're either going to do the show now, or I'm going to come back tonight, and then we're going to do the show. I'm fine with either. You just tell me, brother.
See you tonight, man. We've got business in Kern still.
Tonight it is. Tonight it is. As he grabs your coffee without asking, takes a little sip, and then slides it back over to you. It didn't have that much of it. By the way, is there... do you have money? I need a little.
What do you need money for, Rocco? You never asked for a dime, man.
Yeah, man, I should have been asking for a dime all this time. I ain't got shit to pay for any sort of rooms. I slept out right in back near the garbage in the back last night. It's not very clean. I had to magic myself back clean. You know what I'm saying? Not good. Doesn't look good. That's why my hair is all. But I thought the ladies might like.
Flint's gonna open up his pocket. He's gonna take a look, and he's gonna go, all right, man. He's gonna toss him 3 gold. Will this help you out? That's all I got on me.
Brother,
we're gonna make more tonight.
Amen, we are. I guess amen doesn't really make sense in this world.
Amen.
Hey, boy, we are.
Hey, dude.
Hey, dude. I like the "hey, dude" should be the prayer. That's great. Hey, dude. Hey, dude, we are. But I'll be back. Are we playing here? I can't remember.
You brought the gear here, man. What are you talking about? Flint's gonna point to the stage.
Man, it's been a long morning. It's been one of those mornings. I'll head out. Very nice to meet you folks.
Taking another pineapple.
Robert kind of nods at him. Celine says, "You as well." The only one really to reply to him is he's like, "All right." All right, before he heads on out the door. Oh, so that's Rocco, huh?
Yeah, I met him a while back. He's been a good man. He's brought my gear around. He's my lead roadie. And then Flint's gonna look over to Ryan and goes, "So we gotta find Marcus, that's right?"
Yep, that's the goal.
Well, I haven't seen Hal or Zania. Are we just gonna leave them, or they were gonna find Marcus's place anyway?
That's what I understood. They were going to Marcus's last night, so I guess if you're all done with breakfast, then we can go ahead and head out over towards Marcus.
Okay.
What about that mind thing you got going on? Why don't you shoot him?
He does it to me. I can't do it to him.
I can do it, but it's the start of the day. If we don't need to, if we already know where we're meeting them. But if you want me to,
save your magic.
Okay.
I don't know if we'll be running into anyone as Ren looks over to Flint.
I go with the flow, man. Let's do it.
Not much has changed. All right, let's go.
As you all begin to head up, Flint, you've been eating all of your stuff, but you leave a bit of it before. Robert hasn't had anything to eat before. He does look down at the bacon and he kind of dips it in the red eye and says, "Hold on," before running and catching up after you all leaving, heading out in the streets. Now seeing the fountain in the daylight, you see so many children out playing and splashing in this beautiful clear water. All the merchants' stalls are open for business. Anything that you can dream of, you can find it here, man. This is what you've all been waiting for. You're in Kern now, but you do have business to find Marcus, and you know he's to the north. To the north?
Where we're heading?
Sounds good. As you two head off towards the northern pathway, you see a small gnomish guard with a half of a halberd sticking off the side, sitting there, leaning up against it, and a Goliath who is looking by, stopping a few people as they go through. As the gnome looks up at you and says, "Hey, sorry, we've had all sorts of complaints going to the north. It's supposedly a bit dangerous. Are you all right to go there? You defend yourselves? You look like you're pretty strong." He looks to Robert, but the rest of you.
With the completely blackened eye that Holgrim has. You just see it like emit with like this like deep crimson light behind it. It says, we'll be all right.
Okay, just be careful. There's an old temple that's off that way. Don't bother with it right now. Just don't bother with it. Just keep on moving.
Got no qualms with that. All right. Let's go.
Okay. You two head on down the northern pathway. Walking down that direction, you see another about 5 miles to the north. Off that way, you can begin to see the large channel of the seas. There's no building that blocks your view all the way down. It is a sight before you can see this vast horizon down there and the huge amount of buildings that spring up and up from that area. This is all beginning to look pretty familiar. It's been a while, Ren, but you're starting to remember it. Go ahead and roll me a history check at advantage.
Please be good. I'll take it. That's just a flat 19.
19. You absolutely remember this place. It's a different business than it used to be, but you can get it there. You're actually not very far from Marcus's place at all. It's just down the northern pathway, back an alleyway, and just you could be there in 5 minutes. You gonna head there?
Yeah.
Beautiful. As you all go walking along the way, you do pass by what must have been described by the guard. You look to your left and see an old temple with several broken out windows and a completely destroyed stained glass front of it. There are a few people out looking around, most of them guards and in armor. There's a few adventurers that you can tell based on the weaponry around, searching around here. There's even a few people with hounds kind of looking for the scent of something. But the guard said to avoid it. Do you pay any mind?
That's Kern, baby.
It's Kern, baby. As you head on further to the north, it's not too many more pathways before... You remember there was a man who used to sell juniper mead here before. All right, okay, so you turn off to the right into an alleyway. There is a large stack, maybe about 100 feet further, made entirely of wood, save the bottom floor, which is stone. There is, in the actual wooden floor that leads down to the water below, there's an actual latch, not uncommon. There's lots of latches that lead down for maintenance and such. Right here next to this building. You recall this being the entrance to Marcus's area.
Open it up.
You pull open the large wooden hatch. Down there are wooden stairs that lead. You can hear the lap of the waves as they hit the columns nearby that are holding the buildings up and so high. They're large stone things as you walk downward into this.
Before we actually go down on the lid of it, I am going to use prestidigitation to just put a nice R on top.
Okay. Like carved in or a glowing letter?
Not glowing, but just like a nice purple R, like a matte finish.
Essentially
R
paint on an R, correct?
Yeah.
You quickly wave your hand over, and now there is a purple R atop this lid that you're pulling closed as the four of you go down. These wooden stairs lead to a column, of which you recognize a wooden door that's built into the column. Kind of a secret little hidey hole down here. This is Marcus's place. Can't wait to go back. This stone column that reaches up that helps support the entire weight of this large building, this whole field down here of the ocean, littered with these stone columns just to support the weight. Every time there's a building that goes up, a stone column has to go underneath just to be able to support the weight of everyone underneath. You can even see several people on scaffolding creating new stone columns or supporting ones that already exist. But this one here is special. There's a door connected to where these stairs lead. Onto the other side, you go around. You recognize Marcus's door. A kind of inlaid wooden door into the stone. The brass knob is exactly as you remember it. A small little snake that whirls back around before coiling up on itself, made of wrought iron.
I give the secret knock.
What is the secret knock? As you wait.
That was perfect.
Yeah. You wait for a response. Kind of look at everybody like, get to see Marcus. For Robert sits there waiting to see. Is he? Is there anything I need to be prepared for?
No. No. Just he's. You'll see.
Wonderful. As you wait, no response.
Try and open the door.
It seems to be locked.
I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
I can possibly get us in.
Jesus Christ. Continue.
How so?
Well, this wall's made of stone, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can just pull it open and we can walk on through.
I look around. Is there anyone around us?
Roll perception.
Also, everyone, make sure you get your entries in for the giveaway.
Ooh. Perception +4 is 18.
You take a look around. There are several workers in scaffolding creating a lot of these columns, but they all seem to be quite busy with their work.
Cool. In that case, I'm dropping form, going back to Ren and dimension dooring on the other side of the door.
Flint, you're like, I can get us in, as he poofs into the other side. As you do so, you are familiar with the magic that Marcus creates. This is very much like the Wizards Guild area, though on a smaller scale. The room is much bigger than the small doorway would allow it to be. So you know not to teleport further than just a few feet in from the door. So as you do so, suddenly a smattering of papers that seem to have been littering the ground from the wind that you create from teleporting in go flying upwards. There are several ever-lit candles in here from Marcus, but it seems that a ton of books have been thrown off of his shelves. Broken beakers line the table and litter the ground nearby. His entire home seems to have recently been ransacked. As you turn back to the door and look, as there's a knife on the inside of the door that says, "You owe us," held up on the inside. As that seems like a solid place to stop for the night, as it is 10 p.m. Make sure if you haven't done so yet, go ahead and do your giveaways. That way you can win yourself one of those amazing looking dice from Level Up Dice, these Tiger's Eye dice. Boom, they look good.
Delicious dice.
Any dice goblin will be lucky to eat, but don't eat, please.
Tasty dices. Smeagol loves eating dices.
It's very good.
Give the dices to Smeagol.
I love it.
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Very good, very good. Oh, you can no longer enter the raffle. John's calling it here. What do we got, John? Who's winning? Agent Lady Hawkeye. Hey,
Congratulations, Agent Lady Hawkeye. You won the precious dices that I wish to eat. Give them to me. Tasty dices.
I'm so upset that you didn't
Change it to
Just raw and wriggling dices.
So we're doing this
More
new
like
stream.
Agent Lady Tiger's Eye.
We're doing this new stream where just Jakey and I only do Gollum impressions throughout the whole time. Won't get old at all. Thank you, everybody, for watching tonight. We still have some more stuff to do with Flint, so we'll talk and see if we can get Will to come back another time. If not, there's no way I can do it justice.
Forever.
Become like Jakey. Join us.
We have another episode next week, so if you haven't gotten ready for that, go ahead and get ready to come back next week. We also are going to do some more giveaways, as we always do. Thanks, everybody, for watching. We'll have to see what happened to the temple and the vampire that you found there on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z. But for now,
I'm sure he's fine. He's fine.
Yes, definitely double inspo if you do Gollum in the next recap. Right. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Hope you have a great day. Stick around as John or somebody raids us onto the next people. But we're here. We're ending the stream. Bye. Love you.
Bye. Love you.
Goodbye.
Love you.
Thanks for coming. Thanks for hanging out.
I love you.